the Rams. If you hit the quarterback and you punish the receivers, good things happen to you, and that's what they've got to do here this afternoon.
All right, don't forget there is still time to select your singular fantasy football team for this week. Text message 63504 on your singular wireless phone or vote on foxsports.com. The Dolphins say they're not thinking about turning their season around. They just want one victory. The Rams have other ideas. We'll have the kickoff when we come back. Back in Miami, Dan Miller along with Brian Baldinger. You're looking at Mike Martz, 5th year as head coach in St. Louis, and got off to a bit of a rough start at 1-2, Brian, but they've got it turned around with 3 straight victories.
Yeah, and this is going to be a difficult game for Mike. You know, they just had 2 emotional wins against Seattle, 17-point comeback in overtime, Monday night win against a team they hadn't beaten on Monday night in Tampa Bay. They come on the road here, a tough situation, a team that hasn't won a game, and then they have a bye week next week. So you just wonder about the focus of the team coming in here today.
Well, the Rams have won the toss, and they will receive and get that offense out of the field first. And I think when you look at this game, Brian, we have looked at it in many different directions. The key is going to be that Miami defense, but also turnovers.
Yeah.
Both of these teams are prone to turnovers. Miami, despite the fact that they have the record that they do, in the past, they have been a team that's caused a lot of turnovers. This year, not so.
Well, they lead the league in turnovers, 17 turnovers. And, you know, that interception run back for a touchdown last week against Buffalo was a killer up there. This is an embarrassed football team, though. Nobody here has ever gone through a season like this in Miami. It's new for everybody. We're looking to take a little frustration out here today and just get a win.
Set to go. There's the kickoff. Back deep, Dwight Anderson for the Rams. He'll take it a yard deep in the end zone and bring it out. Anderson back to the 15, to the 20, taken down at the 24-yard line, and that's where the Rams will take over. And leading the attack once again this year is Mark Bulger in his 4th year out of West Virginia. This is a guy that has done it over and over for this football team in terms of putting up numbers. And the guys up front for Mark Bulger, guys that will protect him. Keep an eye on Grant Williams, who has struggled a bit at right tackle, giving up 2 sacks in each of the last 2 games. The skill position, these guys are the ones that really make this offense go. Wide receivers, Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, and of course, Marshall Faulk. And obviously, you will also see Steven Jackson in there. First down and 10 for St. Louis. First possession of the game. Marshall Faulk is the back. He gets the handoff on the delay. Faulk across the 30 to the 35, making a miss across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Gain of 18 on first down. Let's take a look at the Miami defense. The guys up front that'll have to apply the pressure to Mark Bulger today. Bowens, Skanina, and Taylor. The linebacker position, Zach Thomas, 9th year out of Texas Tech. Perennially a guy that gets 100-plus tackles per season. And Junior Seau in his 15th year. In the secondary, keep an eye on those corners, Patrick Surtain and Sam Madison. And Faulk is the deep back, Bulger to throw. Setting up the screen, gets it out to Faulk. Faulk across midfield and run out of bounds at the Miami 48-yard line. So another good gain for the Rams and another first down.
Getting Marshall Faulk involved. You know, this team played Monday night, and Mike Martz did something this week I've never seen any team ever do that plays on Monday night. He gave them Tuesday and Wednesday off on a game that they're playing on the road. And he said he's learned from the past that the worst thing you can do is take a team that's tired and practice them on too soon. You don't get anything out of them. So they actually waited till Thursday to start practice. Missed a day of practice this week, but they said they'd rather be fresher coming in here today, in the heat, in all the elements. And we'll see what happens as a result.
And I think the heat is something to keep an eye on today, Brian. You were down on the field before the game. It's going to be difficult, I think. Obviously, Miami a little more used to it than St. Louis, a team that plays inside. It's going to be something to watch on the Rams side.
Yeah, if you look at where they've been, they were up in Seattle a couple weeks ago where it was mild. They were in the Dome on Monday night. So, yeah, they haven't played in this heat. And I've come down here in October, November to play, and you better have filled up the radiator on Wednesday and Thursday, because I tell you, it's going to leak now. You're going to have to fill it up during the game.
3 receivers in the game for the Rams. First down and 10. We get our first look at Steven Jackson, rookie running back out of Oregon State, who comes in for Faulk. He's the lone back. Fake the handoff. Coming on the end around, it's Isaac Bruce going to throw a pass looking for Torrey Holt. Holt reaches up, makes the grab, but it's incomplete. He was out of bounds. Reggie Howard out there in coverage. It was a terrific effort by Torrey Holt, but incomplete.
Well, it didn't take long for Mike Martz to dial up a deceptive play here. Torrey Holt working, trying to deceive the corners and the safeties right there. Isaac Bruce is from Fort Lauderdale, went to Dillard High School right here, has about 60 people here today. And you kind of want to showcase a guy that has had the type of success he has in this league in front of his hometown fans. They got a number of plays like that dialed up for him today.
Rams bring in 2 tight ends. Cam Cleveland checks in. Jackson is the back in motion behind Bulger. He gets the handoff. Jackson finds a hole at the line of scrimmage, gets inside the 45, down to the 44, gain of 3. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 7. Brian Robinson making the stop for Miami.
You know, there's a lot of things that have gone wrong in Miami this year to get to 0-6. But one of them has been the injuries to their defensive tackles. I mean, they lost Larry Chester and Tim Bowens for a good percentage of the start here. They got Bowens back. He just stuffed that play. He's out now on 3rd down, but that was something they could always count on. Those defensive tackles and Zach Thomas stopping teams from running the ball.
St. Louis 4th in the National Football League in 3rd down conversions, just under 48%, facing a 3rd and 7 here. Bulger to pass, looks, throws, incomplete. Wanted Sean McDonald. That'll bring up 4th down.
You see the ball come out of Bulger's hands right there? I mean, he was well protected. This ball comes out funny. I don't think it was tipped either. I mean, I think it slipped coming out of his hand. Take a look at this throw coming off his hand. That looked fine. I guess the ball was, yeah, right there, tipped at the line of scrimmage, and that changed the flight of the ball. They're lucky that ball wasn't picked off.
Well, the Dolphins come up with a hold. St. Louis's first possession. Wes Welker back deep to take the punt from Miami, calls for a fair catch, bobbles it, goes out of bounds at the 14-yard line, and that's where Miami will take over. And it's a Miami offense that has yet to score in the first quarter this season. The only team in the National Football League you can make that statement about. They'll give it a go when we come back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Back in Miami, Dan Miller, Brian Baldinger scoreless in the first quarter. Dolphins with their first possession. Jay Fiedler with a start at quarterback, and that's a position where they have really struggled this year, Brian.
Well, they've got to get better. I mean, it's the lowest rated position, quarterback position in the league out of 32 teams. Jay's got to play better, and if he doesn't, there'll be a hook today, and A.J. Feely will get a chance.
On 1st down and 10, Fiedler to throw. Got it out there to Marty Booker across the 20 to the 24-yard line. Going to be a 1st down. Let's take a look at that Miami offense. Talked about Jay Fiedler, the quarterback, 9th year out of Dartmouth. Up front, McIntosh and St. Clair will be the tackles. This is an offensive line that has struggled this year. Sammy Morris getting his 2nd start for the Dolphins at running back. Had a terrific game last week, 91 yards rushing against Buffalo. And the Dolphins are hoping they can continue to get that kind of production because they've not run the ball effectively either. And obviously, Ricky Williams is the guy they thought would be out there this year, but he's not. 1st down and 10 Miami after completed pass. Fiedler again, play action, looking right, throwing out there, incomplete. Wanted Chris Chambers, he fell down. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Let's take a look at that St. Louis Rams defense. Leonard Little starting at defensive end, 7th year out of Tennessee. He's the one that'll apply plenty of pressure to Fiedler today. Also up there, Lewis Pickett and Little. The linebackers, these are some guys that can make some big plays. Brandon Schiller, rookie out of UCLA. Tommy Polley out of Florida State. Tisa Samoa as well. Travis Fisher back after missing the first part of this season with a broken right forearm. His first start of the year. 2nd down and 10 for Fiedler and the Dolphins. Give is to Morris. Across the 25 out to the 27-yard line. Gain of 3. Adam Archuleta coming up from his safety spot to make the tackle.
Here's the biggest thing that has happened to the Dolphins. When they lost Ricky Williams, opposing defenses lost all respect for this offense. And so teams right now are just ganging up on Dave Wanstead and everything he's doing offensively. I mean, the offensive line is rebuilt, and Jay Fiedler has struggled because it's on his shoulders now. In the past, he had success because all he had to do was manage this offense. Now he's expected to carry him, and he can't do it.
Got to carry a 3rd down and 7 right here. Dolphins first possession. Pressure comes, and down goes Fiedler. Bryce Fisher came off the right side, got to him, and comes up with a sack, and that'll bring up 4th down.
I tell you, it looked like Bryce Fisher was offsides right here. Here he is at the bottom. He got a great jump. And really, Damian McIntosh, the left tackle, was late from the very beginning. And this looks a lot like how the Dolphins have played offense this year.
So that'll bring in Matt Turk to punt. Sean McDonald back deep for the Rams. Turk puts his foot into it. McDonald calls for a fair catch and makes it at his own 29-yard line, and that's where the Rams will take over. 52-yard punt. We're scoreless in Miami. St. Louis will have it when we come back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time.
That's head coach of the Rams, Mike Martz, and he's coined the phrase fast and furious, and it's catching on. And here's what it is. That's how you define it. Speed is attitude. They run everything full speed in practice and games. They don't condition because of the way they practice and how fast they practice. And then he said you can never coach or play the game scared. Mark Bulger is not afraid to pull the trigger.
Bulger on first down, and the delay gives it to Falk. Falk, not much, falls forward, maybe 2. That'll bring up second down and 8. Brian Robinson doing a nice job of shutting things down up front for Miami.
Marshall Falk scored his 100th rushing touchdown last week. He's in a pretty select company with that. But he knows right now that Steve Jackson, their #1 pick, is a big and talented back. And last week, Steve Jackson played about 45% of the snaps. Him and Marshall Falk were in there together. It is a good problem to have, having those two guys in your backfield.
Marshall Falk, the 6th player in National Football League history to score 100 touchdowns. Second down and 8 for the Rams here. Bulger to throw. Looks, throws, wanted Cleveland. It's incomplete down around the 44-yard line. Let's go back to L.A. right now for a game break. James Brown, JB, what's happening?
Hey, Dan and Brian, take a look. Dan certainly knows all about Roy Williams. Supposedly only 75% healthy. Looked 100% on that double move. 7-0 Lions over the Giants. And then Philadelphia at Cleveland. 2 pass plays on their opening drive. The second one, a 10-yarder to tight end Chad Lewis. It's the Eagles up 7-0 over Cleveland. Let's take it back to my guys, Dan Miller and Brian Baldinger.
All right, JB, thank you very much. 75% of Roy Williams is a whole lot. People in the National Football League are finding out. And Philadelphia trying to keep that unbeaten streak going. Third down. It should have been caught by Dane Looker, but dropped. Bulger hit him right in the hands. The defender had fallen down, and the Rams are going to have to punt it away.
Yeah, the defender was Reggie Howard on Dane Looker. And Dane Looker right here in the slot. Working on Reggie Howard. Watch Reggie Howard slip. I mean, that would have been a first down. But here's what's happened. We're seeing a little bit less precision than we've seen from this offense the last 2 weeks. And you just start to think the mental part of this whole thing right now in sunny South Florida, big wins, short practice week. Are those things going to catch up to this team today?
Wes Welker back to take the punt for the Dolphins. Bounces around the 32-yard line. Will go out of bounds right there. That's where Miami will take over. No score. First quarter. We'll be back. Well, we know those of you watching in St. Louis don't even need to get up today to change the channel. You don't even need the remote. You'll be watching Fox all day. We've got this game for you tonight, of course. Game 2 of the World Series. Sports greatest moments unfolding right here on Fox. As the St. Louis Cardinals look to draw even with the Red Sox, and everybody at Cheers thinks Kurt Schilling can get it done again tonight.
Oh, yeah, Ted Danson's sitting around there pouring some drinks, talking about Schilling tonight. I wonder if that ankle is still bleeding from the other night.
And it was Coach were around to talk about it. First down, Fiedler back to pass. Throws left side, got to complete to Chambers on the dump off. Gain of 9. That'll bring up second down and 1. Travis Fisher forces him out of bounds.
Look, if the Dolphins are going to explode, score in the first quarter today, score more than 13 points, they've got to get Chris Chambers involved. I mean, this is an explosive receiver whose average is probably 10 yards lower right now at 8 yards a catch than it has been over the course of his career.
Who on paper was only supposed to get better when they put a guy like Marty Booker next to him. Of course, they lost David Boston early on, but so far it hasn't worked out. A lot of that because of the lack of a running game in Ricky Williams. On second down and 1, it's Morris right side, got the first down across the 40, out to the 44-yard line, gain of 4, but the Dolphins will move the chains. Jeremetrius Butler coming up from his quarterback position to make the stop.
Well, Sam Morris was the one bright spot in just a terrible day in Buffalo last week. The wind was howling. The offense was throwing touchdowns to Buffalo's defense. Sammy Morris was the one bright spot. 91 yards rushing. He was a former Bill. You know, he was brought in here to be the backup fullback, and because of injuries and retirements and suspensions and all other kind of nonsense, he's the starting and their best option at tailback right now.
He takes the pitch right there on the reverse. He gives it to Thompson.
He's got it, too.
Thompson's
He's got
going to throw a
Chambers.
pass. He's got Chambers wide open down the middle. Chambers got it inside the 10, picks it up, and they're going to say he was down at the 8-yard line. Chambers had beaten Aeneas Williams in coverage, 48 yards on the play.
Well, I said you had to get Chris Chambers involved. I was thinking maybe from Jay Fiedler, but you know, when you're struggling, you just got to try whatever kind of trickery you can. Now, Marty Booker, who throws this ball, is a former high school quarterback. When he was in Chicago, they ran a lot of reverse passes with him throwing. That's the best pass by a Miami Dolphin quarterback all year. Or the best pass by anybody all year in Miami.
Well, the Dolphins, as we said, haven't scored in the first quarter all year, trying to bang down the door right here. Morris still going. Touchdown Dolphins, first one of the year, 8 yards, they take the lead. That's the way to break a drought.
When your team is struggling, you find anything. You look under every rock. You go through every game plan. And Marty Booker, who was a late off-season trade here for Wale Ogunleye, brings his arm, his touch, and some of his old trickery to Miami. For the first time, the Dolphins score. For the second time this year, they actually have a lead.
Matt Bryant adds the extra point. The Dolphins take the lead 7-0. Back with more right after this.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Trail Rated Capability, only in a Jeep 4x4. By Dockers, pro-style shirt and pants that do it all. By McDonald's. And by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
Back in Miami, Dolphins come up with a big play. Marty Booker with a pass to Chris Chambers. Sammy Morris caps it off with a touchdown run. Miami takes the lead, 7-0. Rams will get it back right here.
A long time since those guys have celebrated on the sideline for anything. That feels good.
Bryant with the kickoff. Second game he's been kicking for Lindo Mare, who's out with a calf injury. Return coming out to the 15 and down at the 13. Nice tackle on special teams by Reggie Howard. Let's go back and take a look one more time at the play that set up the Miami Dolphins touchdown.
Well, here's Marty Booker coming in motion. And then Chris Chambers just kind of lulls the defense to sleep. Marty, and he's got a big arm now. That ball's in the air, well over 50 yards there. You know, and then this is what we saw from Sammy Morris last week. The ability to make people miss, to cut. And here's a guy that has worn 3 different numbers in his career. I mean, he started off at 45 as a rookie in Buffalo. Then he went to 33, but Sam Gass wanted that number, and now he's to 31, and he likes it.
Trailing 7-0, the Rams take over. Bulger to pass. Over the middle, throws, got it complete to Isaac Bruce across the 30 to the 31. Tackled by Sammy Knight. Isaac Bruce, who is back home from the Fort Lauderdale area.
And this is only the second time in an 11-year career that he's actually played in South Florida. And he has a lot of family that comes to see him in St. Louis, so it's not that big of a deal, but it is. I mean, this is where it all started for him. He's one of 14 kids. You know, his oldest brother got him involved. He was a Dolphin fan his whole life growing up as a kid. You know, watching the Don Shula coached teams. Nat Moore, wide receiver, was talking to him out there on the field before the game today.
60 tickets for Isaac Bruce today. That's hit in motion. But on first down, Bulger to pass again, looking for Bruce again. Got him across the 45 out to the 46-yard line. Willie Poole and Sammy Knight in coverage, gain of 15 and another first down.
Well, you know, Torrey Holt is their deep threat, and now Isaac Bruce right here on the trail is kind of their underneath threat. This is a guy that has to take those kind of shots coming across the middle. He knows safeties are lurking and looming, ready to take apart the way Sammy Knight and Will Poole did there. Still takes that ball right out of the sky.
Been taking those shots for 11 years since he was drafted out of Memphis in the 2nd round back in 1994. One of the best in the game. Kevin Curtis, Dane Looker check in. That's Looker in motion. Empty backfield for Bulger, who will throw. under pressure. Escaping for a while, but not long enough. Scanina coming in to finish him off. Pressure coming from Jason Taylor, and another big play for that Dolphin defense. Loss of 8.
Well, here's what happened. St. Louis spread him out. Nobody in the backfield, and here's the matchup right here. Jason Taylor on Grant Williams. Jason Taylor was over there because he has a much better chance of beating Grant Williams as he does Orlando Pace. You see the Miami Dolphins today against a Ram team that has no tight end over there. You'll see Jason Taylor taking on Grant Williams.
That's a big play for Taylor. No sacks, no pressures, no tackles for him last week against the Bills. Second down and long. The give is to Steven Jackson, who's checked in. He gets across the 40 to the 41. Gain of 4 to bring up third down and long. Let's get back to L.A. right now with a game break for James Brown.
Hey, Dan, I was going to ask Baldy how in the world Priest Holmes will do against the league's #1 rush defense. Well, pretty well. 15 yards to pay dirt here. 7-3 KC. And for those who were knocking Philadelphia's offense the last 6 quarters not being productive, well, Donovan answering that today. Look at this hook up. 39-yard strike to T.O. Terrell Owens. 7th touchdown reception of the season. Second behind Randy Moss. 14-7 Philly over Cleveland.
Philly getting it done where the Browns have not lost at home all season long. 3-0 coming into today's game. Third down, 15 for the Rams. Bulger back and looking, dumps it off to Jackson. Jackson across the 45 out to the 47. Not enough. Going to bring up fourth down. Reggie Howard coming up to make the tackle. Gain of 7. But once again, the Rams are going to have to punt it away.
Well, the Dolphin defense is playing great. You know, they haven't played with the lead this year. I mean, I think the fact that this offense scored, they got on the board, a little bit of life here in the stadium right now, and then Jason Taylor, they're going to move him around for that matchup. Him beating Grant Williams killed that series for the Rams.
Wes Welker back deep to take the punt. Sean Landeta in to send it away for the Rams. Takes the snap, puts his foot into it, doesn't get it to turn over. Welker steps up, takes it to the 16, back to the 20, flag down, taken down at the 25. Special teams tackle by Chris Massey, the big fullback.
Wes Welker just jumped through that hole there. I love watching these free agents come out here and play and put it all out there on the line.
Holding number 85 of the receiving team during the kick.
Called on Donald Lee, reserve tight end. Yep, Wes Welker, free agent, back there returning kicks. He's even kicked field goals for this team this year. We'll have to do that today.
17 years in the league, 11 Pro Bowls, 3 Super Bowls, 71 career interceptions.
But enough about me.
Rod Woodson joins an all-pro lineup on NFL Total Access.
Back in Miami, Dolphins leading the Rams by a score of 7-0. Rams offense really not able to get on track so far. Miami, on the other hand, a couple of big plays and a touchdown.
This Ram offense, though, you don't know if it's just a little bit off kilter right now or if it's taking a little while to warm up, because we've seen this from them in the last 2 big wins they've had.
McMichael in motion. Morris is the deep back, takes the handoff, met right at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Nice play in there by Trev Falk from his linebacker position. That'll bring up second down.
Well, regardless of what happens today with this Dolphin offense, you know, the quarterback situation has got to get better. Jay Fiedler knows it too. He knows he has not played well. He hasn't been accurate. They've made bad decisions. They've made bad decisions at this end of the field. You know, they've given up 4 passes for touchdowns this year. With the lead right now, there's no need to force anything right here. Of course, it's tough to play in the footsteps of Dan Marino.
Second down and 10 for the Dolphins. Morris trying again across the 10, 15 out to the 18. Good gain, very close to a first down. We'll call it a gain of 9. It'll bring up third down and 1. Jeremetrius Butler making the tackle, flag down on the play. Dolphins are pointing at the Rams as if it's against St. Louis. This is one thing that this team has not had a lot of, Brian, this year. A, good things happening to them. B, confidence based on good things happening to them.
Yeah, and that's Dave Wannstedt's job, is to keep confidence high.
Personal foul, face mask, number 52 of the defense. Will penalize 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Penalty against Tommy Polley, 4th year out of Florida State.
Just looking at Sammy Morris here, getting on the board here for this Miami Dolphin offense, scoring a first quarter touchdown. They've gone through more running backs here this year than most teams would run through in 3 or 4 years, starting with the sudden Ricky Williams retirement.
Sammy Morris, the 4th running back to start for the Dolphins this year. Gets the call right there, finds another hole, gets across the 35 to the 37. Falk with the tackle again, but a gain of 5 on first down.
Well, here's what's happened at running back this year. I mean, they lose Ricky. Okay, we all know about that tragic story. And then they trade for Lamar Gordon, and he comes from St. Louis, who's a high pick, didn't work out in St. Louis. He gets hurt on the first play that he carries. And then Leonard Henry was here, and he bounced around the league in NFL Europe, and Travis Minor was a guy that got hurt on the 4th carry this year for him. They picked up Brock Forsey, let go from Chicago. He comes in, tries to give him a little lift. This is the best option they've had, and it's week 7 right now.
Lenny Kravitz asking, where are we running until last week? Nothing. They weren't running anywhere. But on first down, what a play. And you want to talk about a team that needed a break and just got one. Almost picked off by Aeneas Williams, and it bounces right into the hands of McMichael. Across midfield, down to the 49, gain of 13.
Look, if you're going to stop a 6-game losing streak, you got to have some good things go for you. This is a bad throw by Jay Fiedler. It goes right through Aeneas Williams' hands here at the bottom. And it falls right into McMichael's hands. So maybe it's one of those days where things start to go right for a change for this Dolphin team, because nothing has all year.
Aeneas Williams, 55 career interceptions. I'm sure he'd tell you right now that should have been number 56. Travis Minor into the game, gets the call. Minor down to the 45-yard line on first down. Call it a gain of 3. It'll bring up second down. Ryan Pickett, defensive tackle, making the stop for St. Louis.
Well, Travis Minor, we just showed on the graphic, and the guy that got hurt when he got his chance, and he's healthy right now. So you've got your best chance at running back that you've had. When you can't run the football, everything else kind of goes downhill, and the offensive line gets exposed, and there's a lot of young guys playing up there right now. The passing game gets more pressure put on it.
Second down, 7 for Fiedler and the Dolphins, already leading 7-0. Back looks, throws, wants Booker, throws it behind him at the 25. That'll bring up third down. Brandon Schiller, rookie out of UCLA, got the start at middle linebacker for the Rams today. Right now, a leg injury. His return is questionable at this point.
So, Jay has to make that throw, because you got Marty Booker wide open on a deep dig, 20 yards down the field, an explosive play, and you got to put the ball on the fingertips. I mean, of all the other decisions that go into picking a quarterback, the most important one is accuracy.
3 receivers into the game now for Miami on third down and 7. 25 seconds to go in the first quarter. Miami up 7, looking to add more. Throws, got Booker out there inside the 40, first down at the 36. Booker beat Travis Fisher on the play and gained 9.
This is why Jay Fiedler is still in this lineup, because although he has struggled, everybody in the locker room respects his toughness. He's going to get hit on this play. He's never going to see this completion. He gets sandwiched there. He's got bad ribs. He's got a torn groin muscle. And he gets the ball outside to Booker and takes the hit.
For the first time this year, we can make this statement. That's the end of the first quarter, and the Miami Dolphins are leading this football game. More when we come back. Back in Miami, Dolphins leading the Rams by a score of 7-0, and the Dolphins are driving. 8th play of this drive coming up. Fiedler with a pitch to Morris right side. Now he cuts it outside. Morris trying to get to the sideline. Gets inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line. Adam Archuleta and Trev Falk force him out. Gain of 4. That'll bring up second down and 6.
Well, this offensive line of the Miami Dolphins come under a lot of heat. They got all 5 new players from a year ago. And I was looking at the right tackle, John St. Clair, getting out there and pulling on that last play. He's a former Ram. He's a guy that the Rams gave up on. And Dave Wannstedt told us that he's been the most pleasant surprise here. Now you go, well, you're 0-6, how was there a surprise? But I mean, he got out there and led that play and got him 5 yards.
Dolphins come with 2 tight ends, McMichael and Lee. That's McMichael in motion. deep back is Morris, gets the call. Nice move to get free inside the 30, down to the 28. Close to a first down. He needs to get down close to the 27. Gain of 5, it'll bring up third down and short. Bryce Fisher with the tackle for St. Louis, but the Dolphins offense continues to move the football.
Well, Sammy Morris told us yesterday when we met with him, a good kid too, real good young kid out of Texas Tech, and been in this league for 4 years now. He said that his 2 favorite plays in this offense, in his limited role here, is the draw, which he just ran, and then a stretch play, where he really lets the play kind of develop, and then he uses his quickness to find the hole.
You see the total yards slanted towards Miami at this point. They're facing a third down and 1. Pitch to Morris. Morris is going to throw the football. No, he's going to hold on to it, and down he goes at the 37. Morris was looking for either Chambers or Booker. Both were flying down the field, but the pressure came. Down he goes, and a loss on the play. That'll bring up fourth down. Randy McMichael, the injured Dolphin, down on the field.
He was helping out in the protection. That play got snuffed out by Adam Archuleta. He came up in blitz. He wasn't fooled at all on that type of play. Archuleta basically won the game last week on Monday night, stripping Michael Pittman of a ball and then running 93 yards for a touchdown. He's on the bottom of that pile.
Good coverage back there by Travis Fisher on Marty Booker.
You know, Travis Fisher, he's been out all year with a broken forearm. He's still got a pad on that arm, but he wasn't fooled at all by that halfback pass look.
Flag comes in, delay too much time called on the Dolphins. It's a penalty they wouldn't mind at this point. The line of scrimmage being right around the 38-yard line.
That last play, Dan, was 3rd and 1. You know, you say, talk about all the things that you miss when Ricky Williams isn't here, but 3rd and 1, Dave Wannstedt said last year, the last 2 years, they were the second best team in the league on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. You give it to Ricky, and it just moved the pile, and you didn't have to worry about halfback passes to get a first down.
Turk with the punt, Sean McDonald back deep. Dolphins in position to down it, but they booted into the end zone for a touchback. Some of the things that happen when you're 0-6, they're trying to turn that around today. So far, so good. They lead St. Louis 7-0, but they've got the ball back when we come back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Cadillac and the all-new STS. Breakthrough by Cialis. Cialis is here. Ask your doctor if a free sample of Cialis is right for you. By new M3 Power from Gillette. Feel the power of the world's best shave. And by Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Even when you're 0-6, there are perks in Miami.
It's a good cheerleading outfit here. I mean, it's a good outfit. It's a good crew. They've kept their spirits up.
Rams trailing 7-0. They've got it back. Folger on first down on the delay gives to Falk. Falk right side across the 20 out to the 24-yard line. Gain of 5. Going to bring up second down and 5. Zach Thomas, Jay Williams teaming up for the tackle of the Dolphins.
Look at Zach Thomas here in the middle. I mean, he said that he studied this film this week of the Rams, and he said, I can't figure them out. He said there are no tendencies. He goes, when I think they're going to pass, they run. When I think they're going to run, they pass. He said he went back and watched the game that they lost to the Rams 3 years ago, 48-10. He said it was a nightmare. He couldn't figure out anything with these shifts and movement, but he snuffed out that run the last play.
Dane Looker, Sean McDonald check into the game. 4 receivers for St. Louis. Folger gives it to Falk. Falk dances around the line of scrimmage. Gets out to the 29-yard line, close to a first down, but it's going to bring up 3rd and short.
Now, Zach Thomas there in that look is one-on-one with Marshall Falk. If he runs it, he's got it. If he goes out in the pass route, he's got it. He shifts here and lines up right. When Marshall Falk moves, he moves. Now, his eyes, he's not looking at anybody else. Offensive lineman in front of him, the cheerleaders, he's not looking at anything but Marshall Falk right there.
Falk and the Rams 0 for 3 on 3rd down so far today. Looking at a 3rd down and 1 right here. Good speed in front of Falk. Falk tries the left side, stacked up behind the line of scrimmage, flag down, taken down for a loss by Jeremiah Bell. Nice defensive play by the Dolphins, but we'll wait for Johnny Greer to sort out that flag for us.
Holding 95, defense. That's an automatic first down.
Holding
How
called
in
on
the
Tim
world
Bowens.
does a defensive tackle hold on 3rd and 1? I mean, that's what he's supposed to do. There's Tim Bow in the middle right here. He's trying to keep the right guard, Adam Timmerman, up there from getting up to the next level. Every defensive tackle in football uses that technique.
I didn't see anything.
Well, I mean, look, they're happy Tim Bowens is back in the lineup. You know, he missed the first 5 weeks with a bad back, and this has been one of the guys in this league that you could count on week in, week out over the last 11 years. And he can't believe he's still talking about it. And he's not a man of many words. But his job is to protect the linebackers, and that's why you put big guys in the middle, to tie up the offensive linemen.
I think Tim Bowens is asking Johnny Greer if he might have gotten the number wrong. That's a strange one. Anyway, it results in a first down for St. Louis. Steven Jackson is checked into the game at running back. That's Cleveland in motion. Bolger gives it to Jackson. Jackson, a little bit of room right side, cuts it up across the 35, out to the 37-yard line. Gain of 4, Jay Williams, defensive tackle, making the stop for Miami.
I was just looking at Tim Bowens. He's still talking to Johnny Greer about that 3rd down play.
You look at the quick feet here of Steven Jackson. You're talking about a guy who's 6'2", 231 pounds.
Tim Bowens here, you know, they took care of that running play. Now he's still getting on Johnny Greer. He's still talking about that 3rd down play. I mean, for his entire 11-year career, he's tied up guards and tackles trying to protect the middle linebacker. 2nd
down and 6 now for the Rams, trailing 7-0 here in Miami. Bolger back slips, gets it together, throws it out there. He's got it complete. It's going to be short of the first down to Cam Cleveland. That'll bring up 3rd and short for St. Louis once again.
Well, 3rd and short, when you have Steven Jackson in the backfield, it's a luxury here. I mean, this is the type of back you want in these situations, where you just really want to pound the middle of the line.
Jackson is a guy that can get it done in the power game, and as you saw a moment ago, he's got quick feet, he can get outside, he can make people miss. Really a complete back and a guy that they're extremely excited about in St. Louis. Bring the chains out and measure. They're going to be just short.
You know, that running back position right now for the Rams, they change interchangeably. Jackson and Marshall Faulk. Mike Martz said that Wilbur Montgomery just sends the guys in. I mean, they kind of substitute on their own. You know, one guy doesn't have one play. They all run this. You know, they all can run the same plays.
And that's pretty high praise for a rookie to come in and get that kind of nod from the head coach to tell his running backs coach basically, you can put either guy in there. I'm comfortable.
Mike Martz said that coaching Marshall Faulk has redefined how he coaches the running back position. He said Marshall Faulk basically says, don't put any limitations on what a player can do.
3rd down and short right here. Give this to Jackson. Jackson's got the first down out near midfield. Taken down at the 48-yard line. Junior Seau stops him after a gain of 5.
You know, in St. Louis, you talk about Steven Jackson. He was the 24th player taken, running back out of Oregon. And really, everybody here in Miami.
Late flag coming in on that play.
Still talking about Ricky Williams. This kid has a chance of being much better than Ricky.
Illegal formation, number 77, offense. Lined up on the end of the line and did not report. We're penalized 5 yards.
Well, the call against Grant Williams, which Mike Martz obviously disagrees with.
No, what Mike Martz is saying, this is an unbalanced formation. They move Orlando Pace over to that side. Mike Martz isn't going to let it go because he says they missed it here. Mike Martz spent 4.5 hours last night putting this game plan together, very little sleep. And he darn well says he's got this right, and you don't. And here's Grant Williams over here. Yeah. They move Grant Williams over to the left side to run behind him and Orlando Pace.
Well, the officials have still not moved the line of scrimmage yet. Johnny Greer's still out there talking it over with Sammy Knight. And that was a 3rd down and short.
Well, they put their right tackle over next to Orlando Pace on the left side. And they had the tight end, Manu Madalena, over there at basically right tackle. And it's confusing to Johnny Greer because Manu Maliuna looks like a tackle.
After discussion with the officials, number 87 lined up on the end of the line, covering up number 77. The formation was legal. We have a first down.
Well, they had already moved the chains back. Now they're moving forward again, and Mike Martz obviously got his point across to Johnny Greer there. It's not often that you see Mike Martz that animated.
There's 87 right here. Cam Cleveland, he covers up the tackle where they moved. A pretty familiar thing for the Rams to go unbalanced right there in power situations.
So after they sort it all out, Mike Martz is a happy guy. A little smile there.
I tell you, when they have a recount vote here in 2 weeks in the presidential election, I want Mike Martz to settle it out.
Here we go, Bulger on first down, looking and throwing right side. Got it complete out there to Marshall Faulk. Faulk down inside the 45 to the 44. Pickup of 8, that'll bring up second down at 2.
Did it look to you like Marshall Faulk there kind of froze after he caught that ball, waiting for the defense to charge him and then burst? Like an old veteran trick there.
Faulk's got an arsenal of moves. You want to draw first, he'll draw second. Marshall Faulk, 11th year out of San Diego State. 10 games against Miami in his career, has never rushed for over 100 yards. Dolphins up 7-zip. Rams shifting around on offense. That's Manu Maliuna in motion. Faulk still the deep back, takes the pitch right side. Faulk gets the first down. Moves down in close to the 42-yard line. Right now, let's get it back to L.A. for a game break. And James Brown, JP.
Hey, Dan and Brian, Kansas City running back. No, not Reese Holmes, believe it or not. Derek Blaylock, 7 yards to pay dirt. 81 rushing yards so far on the ground for Kansas City against the #1 rush defense in the league. 14-3 AC.
All right, thank you very much, JB. Never easy to play in Kansas City. That team's had their problems this year, but that's got to be one of the toughest places in the league to play.
They're struggling up there, Dan, but you can't count that team out. Trent Green, a quarterback that Mike Martz developed, has a chance of getting real hot with that running game.
On first down, again, to give us to Faulk. Cuts it back now inside the 40, down to the 34-yard line. Close to a first down, gain of 9. Patrick Surtain making the tackle for Miami, and suddenly St. Louis's offense starting to show some life. Nice block in there by Adam Timmerman.
Well, I think that's the advantage when you have two big-time backs, is that you can keep Marshall Faulk fresh, so they can make moves like this. I mean, he's still cutting here like the days of old. And when he's playing on grass right now, I think he feels really good. I saw him down here before the game. He was still in just shorts and a T-shirt an hour before kickoff. Just loose, relaxed, talking to players down there in the field.
Faulk getting a breather. Jackson checks in. First down. Pass to Joey Goodspeed. He picks up the first down. Gain of 9.
Anybody in this offense that lines up in a eligible position can get the football. I mean, right now, in the last 3 weeks, these last 3 wins, 9 different players have scored 11 touchdowns. Goodspeed is one of those guys that hasn't scored. Guys are looking at Jason Taylor down there of the Miami Dolphins, and they're getting some help out there. A lot of respect for Jason Taylor around the league, and you see Torrey Holt over there talking to him. They've seen each other in the Pro Bowl many times.
Jason Taylor, 8th year out of Akron. They'll take a look. We'll get the results when we come back. Miami up 7-0. Jason Taylor walked off the field over on the sidelines right now. Trainer's taking a look at his left knee. Marshall Faulk and Steven Jackson in the backfield for the Rams right now. Inside handoff goes to Jackson. No, it's Bulger who keeps it. Look at right side throws. Incomplete. Defensed well out there by Arturo Freeman, getting the start at safety today for Antoine Edwards.
Well, one of the things they want to do with Mark Bulger that they really couldn't do with Trent Green or with Kurt Warner is moving, because he is a good athlete and he's accurate on the move. And if you always know that the guy is going to end up 5 yards right behind the center, it's a little easier to design defenses to slow him down and stop him. So they moved him that time, but Dolphins defense right here has played tough.
Trying to hold him right here. Second down and 10 for St. Louis. Jackson stays in the game. Faulk to the sidelines. Bulger to pass. Pocket holds, throws. Incomplete. Looking out there for Curtis. Off his hands, Patrick Surtain coming in to separate him from the football.
You know, it's the timing of the hit here by Surtain, which is key. Here's Patrick right here covering the slot, working on Curtis. Nice reaction to Surtain by Surtain right there. They haven't given up anything deep here today. They've hit the receivers. They pressured Bulger. This defense, who they said they put it on themselves last week. They couldn't get the ball back at the end of the game. They felt like they let the team down in Buffalo. Playing well here so far this afternoon.
Rams 1 out of 4 on 3rd down. Bulger from the shotgun, facing a 3rd down and 10. Looks, throws, got it complete out there inside the 20 to Looker, stretching for the 1st down marker. Going to be very close, gain of 9. Surtain again in coverage and making the tackle. And it looks like he's going to be about a yard short of the 1st down, bringing up a 4th down decision for Mike Martz and the Rams. Looker limping off after the play.
You know, they haven't gotten anything deep down the field. They haven't gotten those safeties out from there. And Surtain making 2 plays here back to back. And yeah, the Rams are going to go for it. That's what Mike Martz does. He said you can't coach with any fear. So you got Steven Jackson back there, who they love. Big power back. I bet it comes right to this man.
Rams 6 out of 6 on 4th down so far this year. Bulger going to take a timeout. Play clock was down to 1 second. Needed to do that. They'll talk about it. We'll come back. Rams looking at a 4th down, trailing 7-0 here in Miami. Back in Miami, Dolphins leading 7-0. St. Louis looking at a 4th down and 1 here. And if you're the Miami Dolphins, 0-6 on the season, this is a big play.
I think for both teams, you're right here. I mean, Dolphins, a huge play if they can stop them. Momentum, turnaround, all that stuff. But the Rams are in love with Steve Jackson, and this is a chance for him to show the type of power he has.
Jackson is the deep back right here. As we said, Rams 6 out of 6 on 4th down, make it 7 out of 7, and this game's about to be 7-7. Mark Bulger just takes it right up the middle for the score, 15 yards.
Let me tell you, that's why Mike Martz is down there on the field, the headset on. Because you think Jackson, and who would have thought Mark Bulger on a quarterback sneak? They caught the Dolphins.
Apparently not the Dolphins.
The Dolphins, that's the last option they thought would happen on that. I think Bulger thought that, you know what, all I need is a yard, and I think he was surprised that the whole thing was open, that the C's just opened up.
Jeff Wilkins, who was a question mark all week long because of a left ankle injury, will do the kicking today for St. Louis. In to attempt the extra point. Spot's down, kick is up, and it's good. Once again, Mark Bulger getting it done this time, not with his arm, but with his legs. Quarterback sneak on 4th down. We're tied at 7.
Watch how Bulger saw this thing open up. Tackles go outside. The center goes up on Zach Thomas. And the only guy for Mark Bulger to dodge here was the umpire. Watch, he puts a move on the ump, just runs right by the ump. No help there. And this is how it looked to him. I mean, I give credit for Bulger. A lot of quarterbacks would have just gone down. He kept his head up, stayed alive, stayed an athlete that he is.
Jeff Wilkins with a kickoff. Wes Welker back deep for Miami, takes it at the 5.
Shot for the reverse.
Look out for the reverse, and there
Good
they
call.
go in the reverse to Brian Gilmore. Gilmore 35-40 out near midfield. Gilmore into Ram territory, down to the 32-yard line. Brian Gilmore, the wide receiver, taking the reverse, and a big play for the Dolphins. Flag down on the field. Hang on 1 second. Let's see if Johnny Greer's going to bring this one back.
Dolphins are walking back and going, mercy me.
Oh, boy.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 94 of the receiving team.
Call on Dario Romero. And when you're 0-6, you just can't get out of your own way, and that's what happened right there. Nullifying a 58-yard punt kickoff return, which would have put the Dolphins in great position.
Perfectly diagrammed reverse to their fastest player, Brian Gilmore. Well, Wannstedt's not going to let this go, and he shouldn't.
Wannstedt maybe saw that it worked when Martz
Yeah, but you know what?
He's going to try it on his side. Now everybody's walking down to the other end of the field again. We'll come back and sort this out in just a moment. 7-7 here in Miami.
Tell you, when you're 0-6, you don't get any respect from anybody in this league. This is the foul right there by Dario Romero and Bryce Fisher. And that's a legal hit. It wasn't after the play. Just no need to call that.
Well, Dave Wannstedt got a little bit of respect. They were walking down to the other end of the field. Dave Wannstedt pointed out that the penalty should be taken from the spot at the end of the play, and in fact it was. So Miami does end up with good field position. First down and 10 at the Rams 47. 7-7 tie here in Miami. Play action fake. Fiedler back and looking, throws. He's got it to Morris. Morris inside the 45, down to the 42-yard line. Piece of Tino Isamoa takes him down there, but a gain of 5 on first down. And if you're Miami and 0-6 coming into this game, you've got to be able to take that punch with St. Louis tying the game and come back and answer right here. If you're going to get this thing turned around, you got to stand up and do it.
Well, the best thing that Jay Fiedler's doing today is what he's always done here. He's managed the game. He hasn't made any critical errors to this point.
Second down, 5 for Fiedler and the Dolphins. 5 out of 7, 48 yards for Fiedler so far. Sammy Morris with a touchdown run. He's got the football right here. Morris, nice move inside the 40, down to the 37-yard line, very close to a first down. Brian Howard makes the stop.
Well, that's what they found last week, even in that insufferable defeat to Buffalo. I mean, he had over 90 yards of rushing, and he looked like you can win with this guy. And so far today, I think Sammy Morris has carried the ball pretty well. He makes people miss. I never thought that he looked big enough to be a fullback. So that's what he was brought up here to be. He went to New England. Look at, like they're calling it, maybe want a measurement or something here.
As he told us the other day, it's basically been that way since high school for him. He's been bounced around from position to position, but he's got to look at this as a great opportunity. 9 carries, 39 yards for him so far.
Well, I think what you could say about his decision to come to Miami is he didn't think he was coming to a bad situation. I mean, New England wanted him. The Super Bowl champ. You know, in this league, you want to go to get a ring. New England, Lord knows, with 20 straight wins, they're going to have another chance for that. But he came down here.
He came down here as a fullback.
Yeah.
Now,
he was going to compete with Rob Conrad for that position to block for Ricky Williams.
well, the delay was for a measurement, and as you can see, Dolphins just short.
Wannstedt's starting to get a little respect here. You know, he got a measurement. He got a little bit of a call coming back on the.
Yeah, they got no problem with counts and recounts down here in Miami.
No, get ready for a big one in a couple weeks. They're already talking about the fact they can the ballot box, and it's already going on.
Wannstedt thought he saw a Chad hanging off the football. We're about a half a Chad short here on third down. Morris once again is the deep back. Dolphins trying to move the chains, keep this drive alive. 7-7 tie. Give is to Morris. Got the first down around the 36-yard line. Gain of 2, but enough, as I said, to keep this thing moving. Move towards the end of the first half here. 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go.
The weakness of this Rams defense is right in the middle. Damian Lewis, who's from the University of Miami, Ryan Pickett. You know, you mentioned that Brandon Chiller went out of the game at middle linebacker. They're a little soft in the middle. An area that has to get better if they're going to compete and get into the playoffs this year. And Miami went right after them there. Getting some good movement in the middle.
2:45 to go first half. Dolphins trying to put some more points up and take this lead into the locker room at halftime. First down, Fiedler. Looks, throws, got it to McMichael inside the 30, fights his way inside the 25 to the 24. It's going to be another first down, gain of 12. Tommy Polley makes the stop for St. Louis, but not before they move the chains again.
Jay's getting protected here. You know, he's got good skills here, just trying to find the open receiver. And you see the head move and the feet. You know, the mechanics are good right there. Look, McMichael is an explosive player. McMichael, Chambers, and Booker, it's a pretty good group.
And Fiedler's going to walk it off and let the 2-minute warning take place, come over to the bench and talk about it. We got a football game here. It is 7-7. Dolphins and Rams. Back with more after this. Back in Miami, Rams and Dolphins. 7-7 tie. How did we get here? Well, Marty Booker with a big pass early in the first quarter. Chris Chambers, who beat Aeneas Williams. Then Sammy Morris inside the 5 and into the end zone. Dolphins led by a score of 7-0 at that point as they look for their first victory of the year. Fans looking for relief down here, just looking for something positive to happen to this team. Right now, first down and 10, the 24-yard line. That's what they see right there. Fiedler with Chambers in motion. Gives it to Morris, and he's met right at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Strong defensive play by Anthony Hargrove.
I'll tell you, that play had no chance. The Rams brought everybody. They brought all the safeties. That's exactly, watch this. I mean, Jay's seen everybody at the line. That's when you want to audible. Get out of that play and go deep. I mean, Sammy Morris, there was nobody to run in, nobody to go to. No hole to run into. Anthony Hargrove has been a pretty good rookie here the last couple of weeks. Really coming on, getting a lot of playing time.
Rookie out of Georgia Tech. Second down, 13 now for Miami. Fiedler back, trying to set up the screen. Ball tipped. Morris gets it anyway at the 33, taken down there. But they're going backwards. This isn't working. Ryan Pickett tipped the ball at the line of scrimmage. Morris caught it anyway. That's going to bring up third down and long now for the Dolphins.
Sammy Morris saved Jay Fiedler right here. This is the type of ball that gets tipped if bad things happen. Morris right here was getting involved in the screen. That ball's up in the air. He went after that football. Got it out of the air, not allowing the Rams to get it.
But after having it first down and 10 at the 24, now it's the Dolphins looking at a third down and 18 from their own 32.
Rams coming with another blitz right here. Now they back out.
Blitz and they back off. Fiedler, pressure comes from behind, throws it incomplete. Flags flying everywhere. I'm not sure who that was intended for. The closest man was Damian Lewis of the Rams.
Well, he got pressure from the backside. Kind of forced him to throw that ball funny. Those are the kind of passes that have been intercepted this year.
Well, they had one taken back for a touchdown last week by Takeo Spikes in Buffalo to open the scoring in that game. And to best exemplify what these Dolphins have gone through, had he gotten that ball to Rob Conrad, he may have gone 80 yards for a touchdown last week. But when things aren't going well, you just don't get any breaks. The Dolphins haven't gotten any.
I think this is going to be an illegal touch by the offensive lineman.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Illegal touching, number 77, offense is declined. Holding, number 81, will be accepted. Third down.
And the Dolphins are taking themselves right out of field goal range at this point.
I'm a little surprised that they took this penalty here. Only because they weren't in field goal range to begin with, with Matt Bryant, their kicker.
Well, there's the illegal touch right there.
Yeah.
You see the pass bouncing off of Damian McIntosh. And that's what Jay Fiedler was looking at downfield. Not much open for him. Third down and 28 for the Dolphins now. 29 seconds to go first half. Fiedler back, throws over the middle. Got McMichael at the 20. McMichael at the 10. 5 touchdown Dolphins. How about that for third down and 28? 42 yards. Miami takes the lead again.
You think the Rams regret taking that penalty?
Well, you brought it up. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. You gave him another chance.
They gave him another chance. And look, you're a desperate football team. You throw the ball down the field. You just don't give a desperate football team another chance.
So the Dolphins take the lead again, 13-7. Bryant on for the extra point. It is up. It is good. And Miami leads 14-7 after the big connection from Fiedler to McMichael.
There's McMichael running right down the seam here. Boy, Fiedler got that ball out of his hands fast, and that's what Randy McMichael's been doing since he was a rookie at Georgia. A big guy that can run, that can work the middle of the field. They had a zone blitz on. They had a defensive end, Bryce Fisher, covering Randy McMichael. That's why he was so open.
Well, I'll give the Dolphins credit. Not a lot of people have a wide open playbook for third down and 28.
Well, look, the defense presented it with them. And give Jay Fiedler credit. He hung in there. He saw the mismatch. You see Fisher can't even come close to staying up with him. I I'll tell you, there was a sprint to that end zone for that celebration by a bunch of guys. Whitley, the right guard. Look at that right there. Geno James jumping, leapfrogging him right there.
It's amazing what kind of energy you get when you're in the lead. McMichael's second touchdown of the season. Jay Fiedler's third touchdown pass of the season. These guys aren't used to celebrating.
No, but here it is. I mean, Fiedler's down there. The offensive lineman, I mean, how did Whitley get down there already? And then Geno James, he's got to come in.
It's downhill. There's a crown in the field.
Well, you know, when you get a lead and you're actually winning a game, you feel like you're going downhill.
Dwight Anderson back for the Rams. 22 seconds to go in the first half. Miami now leading by 7. Anderson's going to take it at the 5-yard line. Gets back to the 20. Not much more than that. Taken down at around the 24-yard line. Special teams tackled by Brendan Iambadejo.
I tell you, Mike Martz is going to have to live with that call of accepting the penalty to make it 4th and 28, 3rd and 28, rather than 4th and 18, where Matt Bryant, who kicked a 43-yard field goal with about 100-mile-an-hour gust last week up in Buffalo, doesn't have the leg to kick it 50 yards.
Well, we told you earlier, Orlando Mare out with an injured calf. Bryant in there kicking for him for the second consecutive week. 16 seconds to go. Rams have 2 timeouts left. From the shotgun, it's Bolger. That's Falk next to him. Little shovel pass to Falk. Falk, not much, out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Will Poole makes the stop. Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have the latest NFL scores and highlights from around the league, and the Fox Sports Ticker keep you updated with the up-to-the-second stats. Some big games going on. Philadelphia trying to stay unbeaten against Cleveland.
Big game later this afternoon, huh? Up there in Foxborough, undefeated Jets, undefeated Patriots. Ask Dave Wannstedt about it. He's played both those teams in back-to-back weeks. And they held Tom Brady to 79 yards passing and lost the game. But I watched the teams on tape this week. I think the Patriots are a better team. Wannstedt thinks the Patriots are a better team. Winning 20 games in this era in a row. I mean, that's the hungry football team to win 20 in a row.
Well, and I think the Jets found something out by watching the film. You just can't give New England second chances. No turnovers, anything like that. They're just too good.
Well, the Rams have won 3 in a row, and they're struggling here this afternoon to try to win 4 in a row against a team that hadn't won a game.
6 seconds to go first half off the snap. This will be the final play of the first half. Marshall Faulk spinning out of a couple of tackles, but down he goes to the 38. Will Poole makes the stop, gain of 7. Not enough to put a dent in the scoreboard, though. It's Miami leading 14-7. When we come back, we'll talk about what's transpired so far in the first half. This is unusual. The Miami Dolphins are walking off at halftime, and the fans are cheering. We'll be right back.
Well, they didn't give us an opportunity to run them, so we've been working on them, and you know, it gave us a chance to get a little spark, and that's what we're looking for.
Coach, your defense did a great job in the first half. What does your team need to do to get over the hump and get your first win today?
Well, we just got to prevent, you know, we got to end up on the right side of the scoreboard. We got to eliminate some of those penalties down there, you know, which took us out of the field goal range. And defensively, we just got to keep them from making big plays. That's to be the key to second half.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
All right, Dolphins leading 14-7. Big play at the end of the first half. Fiedler to McMichael for the touchdown. Back with more right after this.
Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game. The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
Hey, folks, coming on the heels of the World Series' highest scoring Game 1, we get set for Game 2 tonight here on Fox. It'll be the Cardinals at Fenway to take on the Red Sox, starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific, and Fox Sports High Definition here on Fox as we welcome you back for the Visa Halftime. All right, St. Louis and Miami. Miami scored its first points in the opening quarter of the season. Right now, TB, take it away.
All right, toss I, then handoff, reverse. Marty Booker set it up. Has a better arm than the starting quarterback, Jay Fiedler. Thought I'd get that in there. Jimmy gave it to me. 4 48-yard gain. And then Sammy Morris, Jimmy, in from 8 yards. Jay, I'm just messing with you, man. 7-0 Dolphins. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Mark Bulger had to be tackles out, had to be man coverage. That's the only way he could have taken a 4th and 1. Kept it for a 15-yard touchdown run. We're tied at 7. And then back comes Fiedler. The quick post to Randy McMichael. 42-yard score. Holy cow, 14-7. Miami all over the Rams. I'm switching quarterbacks.
Why?
Because I can.
All right.
Detroit at Chicago. No, Detroit at New York. Roy Williams, you just saw a picture of him. Rookie out of Texas, deep in. Touchdown. Coming in with an injured ankle, 18-yarder. 7-0 line. Screen pass to Tiki Barber. Watch him put the ball up high. Touch it underneath the show. Jimmy and Howard do that on the pregame show. Looks kind of silly, but it works. Tied 10-7. Warner threw an interception at the goal line, or it would have been even more. 10-7 Giants over the Lions. You saw McNabb as the Eagles come in against the Browns at 5-0, 39-yard post route. There's Terrell Owens for his 7th touchdown reception on the year, 14-7 Eagles. Now, top right of your screen. Look left, nice job, brilliant, electrical move by McNabb. 40-yard score to Terrell Owens. Looks over, sees a sign that says, takes one to no one, and a picture of a rat. Takes it down. It's 21-10 Eagles, and then Suns on the goal line. 13 yards out, JB. 21-17. Got a good game up in Cleveland. Eagles on top. Michael Vick, exciting, smart, young, brilliant, intelligent. He has it all, the complete package. Takes it down, James. 32 yards later.
Yeah, the revolution starts now in your own backyard, in your own hometown. So what you do is standing around, just follow your heart. Your revolution starts now. Yeah, the revolution starts now in your own backyard, in your own hometown. What you do is stand around, just follow your
All right, welcome back to Miami. The revolution starts now.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. Miami Dolphins leading 14-7. They hadn't won a game coming in. Looked like a mismatch. It's not. Dolphins are playing well.
Well, you know, they haven't beaten themselves here, Dan. I mean, that's a big thing. They haven't turned the ball over, so they've given themselves a chance. And then they've had big plays. Marty Booker, you know, the reverse pass, and then McMichael on 4th and 28, you know, they get the touchdown. So they've helped themselves out. And then I think for the Rams, they've got to get Torrey Holt involved. I mean, here's a guy who's their big play receiver. Torrey, big play Holt, nothing here in the first half. A credit to the Dolphins, but I think Mike Martz, when he looks at that play sheet here at halftime, has got to find a way to get the ball into his hands.
All right, Brian, you were on a team that went 1-15. How important is it for this team to keep this going and keep the confidence up?
Well, that's the whole key, is you got to play 30 more minutes. It'll be a great feeling if they can do it, to get off the snide and to stop the embarrassment here.
Well, here we go in the second half. Wes Welker back deep for Miami. Takes it at the 15, cutting right at the 30. Goes down at the 31-yard line. Let's take a look at our halftime stats. Rushing yards, it's the Rams out in front, but passing yards, this would be a surprise to most people. Dolphins 130-88 for the Rams.
I mean, that's what you got to look at. I mean, the Rams under 100 yards of offense. Now, anybody that's been watching the Rams the last 3 weeks, this team gets a wake-up call, and when they do, it's like it becomes a nightmare. They haven't woken up yet. And I think a big part of it.
Fantasy update right there. Jay Fiedler, 98 yards passing and a touchdown. Sammy Morris, 37 yards rushing and a touchdown. Randy McMichael, 68 yards receiving and a touchdown. The big numbers belonging to Miami Dolphins in the first half. Right now they have the big number on the scoreboard. 14-7, they lead as we start the third quarter. Fiedler under pressure, and down he goes. Damian Lewis coming in and making the sack. Loss of 8 on the play.
When you're a good football team, the way the Rams want to be, if one area is struggling, the other area's got to pick it up. Damian Lewis, very familiar here, playing in South Florida, played at the University of Miami. I mean, that was just a breakdown in the offensive line. Nobody blocked it. We haven't had many breakdowns in the offensive line in that first half.
And that'll bring up second down, 18 now for the Rams. Check that for the Dolphins. That's McMichael in motion. Give us to Morris. Morris tries the right side, now cuts it back to the left, finds a little bit of room, gets to the 25. That'll be a gain of 2, but it's still going to bring up third down and long. Adam Archuleta coming up to make the stop for St. Louis.
The one thing that the Dolphins know is how explosive this Ram team is. A one-touchdown lead to start the third quarter is nothing to the Rams, nothing. And when they came back to beat Seattle down 17 in the fourth quarter, it was like a shot heard around the league that this is a dangerous club no matter what the score is or what time of the game is. So for the Dolphins here, you can't come out here and play defensive football. You've got to continue to attack, continue to try to get the ball down the field to Chambers and McMichael.
Dolphins 3 out of 5 on third down today, looking at a 3rd down and 16 here. Fiedler had time, now he's done. Down he goes inside the 20 at the 17-yard line. Bryce Fisher, the first one to get there. So in the first possession of the second half, the Rams come up with 2 sacks, loss of 7 right there.
That looked like a terrible series, except watch Sammy Morris right here help out on Leonard Little at the bottom of the picture. He just knocked their best pass rusher right on his little, is what he did. Yeah.
Big hit to knock him on his little. Matt Turk on to punt on 4th down. Sean McDonald back deep for St. Louis. Takes the punt at the 33-yard line. Back it up. Now he's coming forward. Not much room. Taken down right at the 30. Nice special teams play in there by Travis Minor. St. Louis has it back. They're trailing by 7 early in the 3rd quarter here in Miami.
Fox NFL Sundays, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
That's Dave Wannstedt right there, giving the business to the offense that just came off the field on a horrible opening series in the 3rd quarter. He knows he's got a chance to get a win here today. He doesn't want to let it slip away.
Got a halftime lead, but it's not over. Bulger on 1st down to Marshall Faulk. Faulk across the 40 to the 45, out near midfield, finally taken down at the 49-yard line of Miami. Gain of 21 on 1st down for St. Louis.
Now look, St. Louis was awful in the first half. I'm awful for them, for their standards. They had less than 100 yards passing in that first half. You got to get the ball into your playmaker's hands. So it was just a basic little screen here. Marshall Faulk did a great job because Miami read that play perfectly. That was Jay Williams who read that play just fine right there and forced Marshall Faulk to get outside, and he beat him.
Jason Taylor has checked back into the game for the Dolphins. Went out with a left leg injury in the first half, but he's back in there now. Steven Jackson in as well, giving Marshall Faulk a rest. Jackson powers his way down to the 45. Gain of 4 to bring up 2nd down and 6. Zach Thomas and Brian Robinson stacking things up for Miami.
Now, you know, talking to Zach Thomas on Friday, look, nobody in Miami has ever been in this situation. Nobody expected that this year. He said one of the things that's happened with the collapse of the offense is that they've been on the field for 70 more running plays in their 6 losses this year. And he goes, you know, you could go out there and line up, but eventually you begin to wear down. And, you know, when you get the lead, you're playing with the lead, you're playing with more emotion right now than they've had.
Certainly easy to wear down in this heat in Miami as well.
He said that when you're 0-6, you come to work, it feels like a job. He said it has never felt like a job to him ever in his life.
Well, the Dolphins have been a successful organization, not a losing season since 1988. Longest streak in the National Football League right now. Give us to Faulk, not much there. Dives across the line of scrimmage, gain of 1. That's going to bring up 3rd down. If you have any doubt that this team can come back from a deficit, Brian, you were there in Seattle when they came back to beat the Seahawks.
Well, I tell you, that defined Fast and Furious. Because when they cranked it up, it was a machine. I mean, it looked like there was no defense on the field. It didn't matter. And everything they did was deep, long, and accurate. That was a winning touchdown there to Sean McDonald in overtime. Bulger didn't stick around for the celebration. He was in the locker room by the time McDonald got to the end zone.
From the shotgun on 3rd down right here, looking for McDonald right there, inside the 30, inside the 25, inside the 20, and down to the 19. So you saw Sean McDonald catch the game-winning touchdown a moment ago, and you got him for the 1st down right there.
That looked like an extension of that video highlight right there. Watch Mark Bulger with this little shoulder pump. Subtle. Huh. Well, Mark Bulger is from the same high school as Dan Marino. He's from Central Catholic High School in Pittsburgh. I was talking to him about it before the game. He said when he was in high school there, they just had a little plaque of Dan Marino. Now that he's getting ready to go to the Hall of Fame this summer in Canton, He said they've got like huge lockers full of Dan Marino material.
He's a Hall of Fame nominee. Pennsylvania quarterbacks, guys like Namath, Marino, Unitas, Montana, Kelly. First down, Gibbs to Falk. Inside the 10, down to the 9, going to be another first down. Zach Thomas makes the stop, but you got to talk about Mark Bulger. Within this system that they have here in St. Louis, he has just stepped right in and picked up where Kurt Warner left off and done a terrific job in a system that's not very easy.
Well, you look at what Mark Bulger's done through his first 28 starts. I mean, pretty darn identical with what Dan Marino did. Now, in that time right there, Marino, he had that 48 touchdowns in 1984, and that record, I don't believe, will ever be broken, even by Culpepper this year. I don't think it'll be broken.
First down and goal. The give is to Jackson. Jackson inside the 10, fighting his way down to the 5. Flag comes in as he dives for the end zone. They're going to say he was down inside the 1.
Oh.
But it's going to be a flag, and it looks like it's going to be a hold against the Rams. They signal touchdown, but it's coming back.
Strength of Steven Jackson there, breaking the tackle with speed
Holding,
to get the corner.
63, offense, still first down.
It's on Scott Tercero, the left guard, who's taken over the position right here on the pull. Now, all they saw was the end of that play. It's an offensive lineman's nightmare when the defensive lineman tries to come underneath them, and all they do is see the end of the play. I mean, that had nothing to do with that play.
How about a defensive backs nightmare when you see Steven Jackson coming at you with his shoulders square?
Yeah, that's another nightmare, yeah. Arturo Freeman in there, starting today for Anton Edwards. The group has played well to this point today.
Well, that's going to make it first down and goal now from the 19 instead of the 9. Jackson stays in the game. 4 receivers as well for the Rams as Bulger will go from the shotgun. Bulger with time in the pocket, throws, and it's going to be picked off by Sammy Knight. He'll down it in the end zone, and that's another big play for that Miami defense. They are standing and cheering in Miami with the Dolphins leading 14-7, and they've got the football back.
The Dolphins completely blow this coverage, and Mark Bulger doesn't see the open receiver here. They all jump on Torrey Holt, and down here in the middle is where the ball should have gone. Here it is. I mean, Torrey Holt gets doubled right away. Now he's got help over the top. That's triple team right there. When you get triple team, that means somebody else is wide open, and Mark missed it.
All right, Dolphins have it back. Second possession of the second half. Sammy Morris, not much, stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Trev Falk doing a good job right there, and that'll bring up second down and 10 again.
It's one of those things in that last interception where Torrey Holt hasn't caught a pass here today. And he calls himself Torrey Big Play Holt, and he has been for all of his career. And then you start to get pressure to force it to him, and that's what happens.
What you saw there, takeaways. Miami Dolphins were 28th in the NFL coming in.
His expression,
a big one right there.
That Bulger's expression doesn't change whether he scores on a 15-yard run or throws an interception.
14-7 Dolphins in the lead on second down. Morris has got it, finds a hole through the line of scrimmage, flags down as he's taken down by Adam Archuleta short of the first down. But it looks like it's going to be offsides against the Rams. Gain of 8 on the play. Johnny Greer will fill us in on the guilty party, but it's going to go against St. Louis. And if you're Miami, you understand you've got to build on this lead based on what we just showed you. And remember, when the Rams did that to Seattle, they were on the road. This is not a team that just plays well at home.
Offside, 91, defense is declined. Third.
This all stat this week. You see Leonard Little here jump on the outside trying to get to the quarterback. I saw the stat this weekend. I thought it was pretty interesting. 7 teams in this league to this date, coming into today's game, haven't won a home game this year.
You and I were talking about it on the ride over here. You have some haves in this league and you have some real have-nots. And I'm guessing most of those teams are the have-nots. And you're looking at one of them right here, the Dolphins. They haven't won at home, they haven't won on the road. Third down, got it. Sammy Morris with the carry, had to get across the 30 and did gain a 2. Anthony Hargrove makes the stop, but not before Miami can move the chains.
No, you look at Sammy Morris run for that 3rd and 1, and for the last 2 years, that play went to Ricky Williams. And you can't not look at the Miami Dolphins and say what would have happened, what could have happened had Ricky been allowed to play this year, had he not been suspended, had he not retired, and all the things that have happened as a result.
Ricky Williams makes everybody on that field, that offense, a better player. There's no doubt about it. Sammy Morris again, this time cutting it back and finding an opening across the 35 out to the 36. Travis Fisher made the stop, and it's a good thing he did because there was nobody else there to take Sammy Morris down.
I think that this locker room is split about Ricky Williams. They had a meeting in California with his agent in the NFL about reinstatement. Ricky wants to come back and play, and the Dolphins would take him back right now. I mean, Tim Bowen, Zach Thomas, they would take him back if you could help him win a game today. They'd take anybody in this lineup to help him win a game, but they don't want to be a teammate with him.
2nd down and 5 now for Miami. Again, it's to Morris, keeping it on the ground. This time he's stacked up, nothing there. Tommy Polley coming up from his linebacker position. It's going to be a loss of 3. You know, one interesting thing, Brian, is this. Players in the National Football League are assets. They've got to try to make something out of Ricky Williams. If he's not going to play here, you got to hope he will convince somebody else in this league to take him and you can make a trade.
Well, you know, the Dolphins can't just cut him loose. I mean, they gave up 2 #1 draft picks for him, and they invested an awful lot in Ricky Williams. You know, not just within the team, the fans invested a lot in him. I mean, they bought tickets and hot dogs and popcorn. They invested a lot in supporting this team and watching him play.
It was not Ricky Williams you saw a moment ago.
Although he does show up in some pretty strange places.
Jay Fiedler on 3rd down, gets it out to McMichael, stretches for the 1st down. It's going to be very, very close.
Well, that's right in front of Dave Wannstedt, too, who's looking down at it, and he can't believe this spot. Look at Dave trying to go. No. I mean, we've had a trickle down of horrors this year.
Going to be very, very close.
You know, in this situation, if they don't make it, this is one of those deals. If you had Ricky, you wouldn't think twice about going for it on 4th down.
From your own 40?
Yeah, even with your own 40. You just, you know, that he gave you that kind of confidence that you could get. I don't know how many inches that is. 3 inches?
Well, Johnny Greer just told you it's not much. It's certainly less than a foot.
I think, look, you're 0-6. I think you got to play the game aggressively here, Dan. Maybe it's a bad spot. Who cares? Sammy working hard to try and stretch that ball out. I think you got to keep your guys out there and go for it here.
Well, he's not brought his offense off the field just yet. Dave Wannstedt with a decision to make. Two schools of thought. You're 0-6, you play conservative, or you're 0-6 and you say to heck with it, we got nothing to lose.
But here's the other thing. If you're playing the Rams, and a touchdown lead at this point is going to help you. Dave Wannstedt said the only chance we have today is to play keep away from the Rams and keep the ball away from them.
Dave Wannstedt now is going to challenge the spot, thinking that Sammy Morris may well have stretched out and gotten the 1st down. So Johnny Greer's going to have to take another look at this.
It's diplomacy. See, before you...
Miami has challenged the forward progress spot on the play.
So Johnny Greer's going to take another look. We're going to take a break and come right back with more, see if the Dolphins got the 1st down right after this. I think the biggest challenge Johnny Greer's going to have in looking at these replays is that a lot of them are blocked by the Miami sideline. Take a look at this. It's when his knee touches the ground. Where's the football? That's the question.
You know, it was ruled short. That's the ruling. So they've got to get definitive evidence to say that it was a bad ruling that should have been spotted further, and I don't think you're going to get a good look at it in order to overturn this.
Well, whatever Johnny Greer was going to get, he's got, because he's coming back out on the field right now.
Well, they're just piecing it together. They're piecing all the different angles together. Johnny Greer, by the way, for you folks at home, is looking at those same replays that we just showed you.
Dolphins hoping for a 1st down. If not, it's 4th down. They got a decision to make.
I think he just wrote his decision down on a piece of paper, then he puts it in his pocket like that. And I think he has it as a reference point. I think if they're short, I think Wannstedt's made up his mind to go for this on 4th down.
Mike Martz looking on as well. His team trailing right now 14-7 here in the 3rd quarter.
After reviewing the play stance is called on the field. The runner was losing the ball prior to hitting the ground. The ball will be spotted at the 40.5-yard line, 4th down, and Miami is charged with a timeout.
All right, so the Dolphins lose a timeout, and Dave Wanstead has a decision to make.
Nope.
And he's going to send the punting team out there. Well, the question is, Johnny Greer said the ball was coming loose what as he was trying to stretch. And there you see it right there. Good call by Johnny Greer. A good shot by our guys down on the field as well. You can see the ball coming loose, and at that point, the stretch is over. Sean McDonald back deep to take the punt. Dave Wanstead decides not to go for a first down. That would have been a gutsy call from your own 41-yard line with that Rams offense. I don't know how much help you want to give those guys. Matt Turk in to punt it away.
Well, you don't think about not making it. You're just thinking about making it. That's what.
And they're going to fake it. They're going to get the first down. How about that? They snapped it to the up back, Sammy Morris, and Morris got the first down.
Look at the guys down there, how excited they are.
Well, it would have been a gutsy call to go for 4th down, and it was a gutsy call to fake the punt.
Well, that looks like a play right out of Mike Martz's playbook. I mean, that's something Martz would have done. But, you know, you got to. That's how you got to coach the game right now when you're in a situation like they are. For the Rams not to anticipate that. And actually they did. They had their defense out there. That's their starting defense. That's Ryan Pickett in there, a defensive tackle. Tino Isamoah, Leonard Little. That's their starting defense out there, and they still got pierced.
Good blocking by the Dolphins to open up the hole for Sammy Morris. And on first down, it's Morris again. Hit at the line of scrimmage, falls forward. It's going to bring up 2nd down and long. Tommy Pauly, Trev Falk, both in there to make the stop for St. Louis.
You get the feeling here halfway, you know, moving into this 3rd quarter, that things are actually going right for the Dolphins in a game. A lot of football to be played, but, you know, they've gotten some calls go their way. 4th down, they get the conversion. Winning the time of possession, which Dave Wanstead said was critical against this offense.
Brandon McMichael, who is in the game right now, out of the field, has suffered a groin injury. So we'll keep an eye on that, see whether or not that affects him.
Well, Vernon Carey, the rookie, just went in for Damian McIntosh at left tackle.
Gives to Morris again, gets out near midfield, taken down there. It's going to bring up 3rd down. Let's go back to LA right now, find out what's happening around the league. JB, what's up?
Well, hey, you know this all too well. Kevin Jones, rookie out of Virginia Tech, with a 2-yard touchdown run. His first of the career, Dan. 14-10 Lions on top of New York. Craig Prinzel at quarterback, but it was Thomas Jones, the former Buck, joining the Arnolds, capping his 6-play, 31-yard drive. 13-7 Bucks. Back to Dan Miller and Brian Baldinger.
Thomas Jones, a guy that's found new life in Chicago.
Jones and Jones right there.
Kevin Jones, a guy that's given some life to Detroit. JB, thank you very much. 3rd down now. 6 to go for Miami. Fiedler back, pressure comes, down he goes. Anthony Hargrove and Leonard Little both in there. Loss of 8 on the play, and now the Dolphins will definitely have to punt it away.
Well, Jay Fiedler's got to have a better clock in his head when things, actually the Dolphins do a good job of picking this up. That's a 6-man blitz. There's time right there, but once you bring the ball down and your head goes down, it's over. At that point, you've got to throw the ball. You got to get it out of your hands, whether you throw it away or you put it up for your receiver to have a chance to get it.
Matt Turk in to punt, sends it on its way. Sean McDonald back deep for the Rams, takes it to the 15. McDonald going down right there. Jeremiah Bell with a special teams tackle, 43-yard punt, 1-yard return. We'll take a break, come right back. It's Miami leading St. Louis 14-7.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Singular Wireless. By State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Levitra. Ask your doctor about it today. Levitra, when it counts.
Dan Miller, Brian Baldinger back in Miami. Dolphins leading St. Louis 14-7. Rams really have not gotten that high-powered offense going today.
Low-octane fuel right now.
Exactly. Trailing 14-7. They're going to have to find a spark. It's Isaac Bruce in motion. Marshall Faulk is the deep back behind Bulger. Bulger on first down, fakes it to Faulk. Going to pass, throws it out to Marshall across the 15. Slips and falls right there, maybe a gain of 1. It's going to be 2nd down and 9. Jay Williams making the stop. And tonight, World Series game number 2, and if it's anything like game number 1, you could have a couple of overworked bullpens in Boston as they make their way to St. Louis. But that was exciting last night. Mark Bellhorn, a guy that they were all over in Boston early in the playoffs. He's hit a couple of big home runs to help the Red Sox. All eyes on Curt Schilling tonight as well.
Yeah, Mike Marks said that St. Louis is the best sports town in America. In fact, they got a bye week this week. He wants to get out there to Busch Stadium and check out a little bit of the action.
3 receivers in the game right now for the Rams. That's Curtis in motion. Bolger to throw. Sets, gets it underneath to Torrey Holt. Out to the 19. Gets up to the 21. That's going to bring up 3rd down. Arturo Freeman, who's starting today because Antoine Edwards is out with a groin injury, makes the tackle.
Well, this is what this Rams offense has done today. They've punted 3 times. They got a touchdown and an interception. I mean, they've only put 1 drive together. And this is their 7th drive today. So credit the Miami Dolphin defense. But also, you got to wonder right now, the shortened week, Monday night, emotional wins against Tampa, Seattle, just how much it's affecting this football team because they haven't been razor sharp this afternoon.
Well, they're feeling the heat in Miami. 4 receivers in the game for the Rams. 3rd down and 5. Bolger to pass. Throws it for Bruce, incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Dan, in a precision offense, and every offense is precision in this league, if you're off just a little bit. You know, if you're off just a little, the ball's behind you. Don't quite make the catch. I mean, all those plays that we saw him make here the last few weeks in his 3-game win streak, there it is. 3rd down, just a little bit behind. And all of a sudden, you got to punt again. 7 possessions. You know, the 4th punt.
Dolphins will get it back. Wes Welker back deep. Fields Sean Landetta's punt. Landetta inside his own 10. Line drive punt. Welker steps up to the 41. Welker with some room. Midfield down to the 47-yard line. Good field position for the Dolphins coming up. 38-yard punt, 11-yard return. Miami's got it back, leading by a touchdown.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Miller. There's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call.
Now you see the mist machines over there on the Rams sidelines trying to keep them cool. Certainly they're not used to this heat they're feeling today in Miami on the scoreboard or on the field.
No, and as they get ready here, start this 4th quarter and 41 ticks. It's another thing that you throw into the factor of why the Rams are struggling here today.
Travis Minor in at running back on 1st down. Pass out right side complete to Booker. Booker gets free down inside the 30. Can't stay in bounds. Out at the 33. Gain of 15 and a 1st down. Jeremetrius Butler in coverage for St. Louis.
You know, coming into today, I mean, Jay Fiedler was on a short hook. I mean, if he came out and struggled today, this team was ready to make the change to go to A.J. Fiedler because he hasn't played well. And today, no turnovers. He's managed the game pretty well. Made the big touchdown throw to McMichael. I mean, look, he's only throwing this looks Bob Greasy type numbers.
10 out of 12, 120 yards. Give us to Minor. Minor finds some room inside the 30 down to the 29. That should be the final play of the 3rd quarter here. And it's the 3rd quarter in which Miami has been able to hang on to that 7-point lead. Looking for their first victory of the season. It's Miami 14 and St. Louis 7. See if the Rams have another one of those 4th quarter comebacks in them when we come back. And we'll return to Miami right after this. Back in Miami, Rams trailing by 7. Dan Miller along with Brian Baldinger. And you know this has been a trying season for Dave Wannstedt. We were in his office the other day. Very interesting. He had a picture in there from the Godfather movie of Don Corleone and Michael Corleone with the saying under it, the line by Hyman Roth, "This is the business we have chosen."
And he got that when he was playing, when he was the head coach of the Chicago Bears. And it's very fitting. The caption is fitting for the frustrations he's endured so far this season.
Pass out to Rob Conrad.
Late hit there.
Inside the 25. There's your flag. You called it, Brian Baldinger, and that's going to cost the Rams 15 precious yards in a game they're trailing by 7.
Yeah, you know, and the Dolphins continue to hang on to the football. They get some breaks. They continue to get some breaks they haven't gotten all season.
Yeah, they
Personal
probably
foul, unnecessary roughness, number 52, defense. Late hit out of bounds. We'll go half the distance to the goal. First down.
Take a look at the replay here. A little pass out to Conrad, and a late hit comes in.
He's out of bounds there. Yeah, went for the head, and then it was late.
Tommy Polly's been called for a couple of penalties today.
Well, you know, now the Dolphins are down here where they have to get points, and I think they have to score touchdowns. They know, Dave Wannstedt knows how explosive Mike Martz can be and that offense can be. And they're a sleeping giant right now. They've been dormant all day. But they were like this against Seattle 2 weeks ago.
Well, Dolphins have been dormant all season. 0-6 coming in, trying to get that first victory of the year. On first down, it's Fiedler. Incomplete, little miscommunication out there.
You know, one of the problems the Dolphins have had this year, and there's been many, but one of them was, you know, they lost Norv Turner, went to become the head coach of Oakland, and they do offensive coordinator by committee now. There's 4 guys. There's Chris Forster, who's the offensive coordinator, Jerry Sullivan, wide receiver coach, Mark Trestman, quarterback coach, Tony Wise, the offensive line coach. They all have input. There's not one voice. There's Trestman right there. He works with the quarterbacks.
I guess the only good
But
thing
it's been
about
confusing.
that is when you're 0-6, people aren't sure who to get mad at.
Okay.
Gibbons to Minor, trying the right side, inside the 10 to the 5, dives, did he get in? You bet, touchdown Miami, they extend their lead, 13 yards.
I see a little bit of a smile on Wannstedt's face.
Only until he looks up and realizes there's 14:21 to go.
Yeah.
But a touchdown for Travis Minor, out since the opener with a high ankle sprain. The second rushing touchdown of the day for Miami, and the second rushing touchdown of the year for Miami. Matt Bryant on for the extra point. It is up and it is good, and the Dolphins now lead by 2 touchdowns. It is 21-7. Fans are cheering, but St. Louis will get it back when we come back. Stay with us.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford. 6 all-new vehicles, each built for the road ahead. By Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game. By Net Zero, access for all, or go to netzero.com. And by Budweiser. Enjoy a cold, fresh Budweiser because fresh beer tastes better.
Well, you see the temperature down on the field, well over 100 degrees. About 108 down there, and I think at this point, St. Louis Rams are feeling every single degree, trailing by 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter.
And that sun that was beaten down on that temperature gauge is the same sun beaten down right now on the foreheads of the St. Louis Rams.
Dwight Anderson back deep to take the kick for St. Louis. Fields it at his own 3. Anderson back to the 15. Running out of room, and he's going down inside the 15-yard line. Reggie Howard leading the special teams charge for Miami.
I tell you, there's some emotion on these Dolphins right now. I mean, heads are rolling, right? Guys are bouncing around. You know, it's amazing. You're 0-6, and you're like, what are you playing for? All that kind of. These are professionals. These are winners. They have been winning the entire life down here in Miami.
Well, and we sensed that from them when we sat down and talked to them on Friday. These guys didn't feel like an 0-6 football team. Yeah, they were frustrated, but they knew what they were capable of as well.
Yeah, you know, and when you're hungry, sometimes in this league you don't have to look at anything further. Stats, numbers, who's the hungriest team? Right now, the Dolphins are clearly hungry for a win.
Well, let's see what St. Louis can do. First down, the give is to Marshall Faulk. Nowhere to go, stacked up with the line. Down he goes. Brian Robinson leading the charge. It's going to be 2nd down and long. Let's get it to LA right now. James Brown standing by with an update. JP.
Dan and Brian, take a look at a pick play that wasn't called right there. That made Steve Hyden, that is, wide open, but it wasn't called. Garcia not complaining, neither Hyden. Cleveland on top of Philadelphia, 24-21, 4:19 left in the 3rd. Back to Dan and Brian.
JB, I know they're going crazy there in Cleveland. And they're on their feet here in Miami chanting defense.
2nd down, Bulger back and looking, throwing over the middle. Wanted Cleveland. It's going to be incomplete. Coverage out there by Moreland Greenwood.
That's good coverage. I said the way to disrupt this Ram offense is to knock the quarterback silly, which they do on this play late, and then bang on these receivers. Hit the quarterback and hit the receivers. And Moreland Greenwood all over the tight end there.
Kevin Curtis checks in. Nice pressure that time coming from Jason Taylor. Left with an injury in the first half, back in the second half for the Dolphins. 3rd down and 10 now for St. Louis.
I think the fans are just as excited as the players here in Miami.
Well, there are a lot of empty seats, but the folks that are here are making some noise. 3rd down. Dumps it off to Falk. Nice open field tackle out there, and a solid play by Will Poole. Gain of 6. That was a great play by Poole, because if he doesn't bring him down, there's all kinds of room for Marshall Falk.
That's a rookie there, bringing down Falk in the open field. You know, these fans here in Miami last year, heck, they were cheering on them, you know, the Marlins. They were in the World Series at this time a year ago. They were cheering on the Dolphins, who were trying to win the East. This was a good sports town a year ago.
St. Louis fans didn't come into today thinking about a split, a loss here, and a win tonight in World Series Game 2. They wanted a sweep. Landeta with the punt. Wes Welker backing up to his own 31. He'll take it there. Welker looking for some room.
Oh, what a block.
Lewis does a pretty good job of stringing it out. Now it's Welker in the open field, inside the 50, down to the 48. Big block in there by Tony Bua of the Dolphins.
You know what? That might have been the knockout punch that the Rams needed right there to get their first win.
49-yard punt, 21-yard return, and one heck of a block that's got him standing in Miami. 2 touchdowns, that's what separates these two teams.
He took out 2.
I love the American dream. This wonderfully unique experiment in self-government is worth an extra effort. The top effort, the top duty of an American dreamer is to vote your conscience. Be rocket fuel for the soul of America.
Tony Bua with the block of the day, the special teams block of the day. Watch and listen. One more time, take another look.
That brought the entire team up.
That's when you want to go to the special teams meeting next week, right?
Yeah. You want to see that hit, you know. Bua's a rookie. You know, and he hadn't had a chance. When you're 0-6, sometimes you just feel like it's all against you. But that's how you turn it around. That's Zach Thomas, chest pumping him right there. That's emotional stuff. That's how you win games in this league. That's how you get off the snide.
Sammy Morris with the call on 1st down, gain of 1. That'll bring up 2nd down and 9. Ryan Pickett coming up to make the stop for the Rams.
Yeah, let me tell you, get the smelling salts right here. Get all the tests done. Make sure that, can check for concussion, all those things. That was a vicious shot that Bryce Fisher took. I tell you, all you have to look, forget about stats in this game, forget about numbers, records. The Dolphins are playing this game at an emotional level that the Rams haven't yet achieved here this afternoon. That's the whole difference in this football game.
Number 1.
Johnny Greer winding up the clock right there.
We were talking to Zach Thomas on Friday, how desperate he was just for a win. That's all he wanted. He said that we're the jokes on Leno at night. We're the embarrassment to this league. He just said we just wanted the feeling of a win.
2nd down 9 now for Jay Fiedler and the Dolphins. Throws got it complete to Chambers. Chambers lost the football, and it looked like the Rams may have fallen on it. The Rams certainly had the first crack at it, and that would be huge to come up with a turnover at this point.
It is the Rams' ball.
It is, in fact, St. Louis football, so the completion to Chris Chambers, who coughs it up, and the Rams get it back. And they needed something good to happen to them. Travis Fisher doing a nice job coming in with the initial hit, and the football came loose.
That was Aeneas Williams that stripped that ball out, and he did that on Monday night to Tim Brown to preserve that victory. Remember Adam Archuleta last week stripped the ball from Michael Pittman, changed that game around, and maybe Aeneas just changed the game for the Rams.
Fisher with the recovery right there, and the Dolphins may ask Johnny Greer to take another look at this.
Well, they've got up until the next snap to do it. Wannstedt, he's looking for the red flag.
That it was a catch and a fumble.
Wannstedt wants to challenge it. He couldn't find the red flag.
He was going to throw anything out there at that
Yeah,
point.
he was
I
throwing
think
his
shoe, his headset, anything he wants.
Yeah,
I don't
go
think he
up
can
there.
get up there in time. He needed that before the next snap.
Send Tony Bull up there to get that flag. He looks like a guy that could go get it.
He just hit the pole and it would come down.
Exactly.
There he is.
And they're still talking about that hit over there.
They're going to take another look at this and see whether or not Chambers had possession before the ball came loose, because if he didn't, Miami's got it back. Take another look. We'll have the decision when we return. Is this a fumble? You make the call. It's hard. All right, the question is about possession here, Brian, and whether or not Chris Chambers has it before he's separated from the football.
Might be one of those things where they're piecing a couple different of these pictures together. Does the ball ever stop
After
moving
reviewing
in his
the
hands?
play,
It doesn't look like.
the receiver never had
There
control
it
of the
is.
ball.
Incompletion.
The pass is incomplete. We have 3rd and 9 at the 48. Please reset the game clock to 11:48. Thank you.
Well, the sun is shining in Miami. When things are going right, they're going right. Take another look at what is a very big play. This would have been St. Louis football had that call stood.
Well, that's a good challenge by Wannstedt. It's a good thing he found that red flag, huh?
I'm not sure he ever did. I think he just got their attention somehow. Maybe he found out who had that thing.
You know what?
Nonetheless, they keep the football.
Wannstedt, one of those Pittsburgh guys, and you can hear that voice from a mile away. You know, it's like he speaks with Mr. Microphone. And I think that Pittsburgh accent carried like across the field to Johnny Greer that, hey, do not let another play run. They easily said, I got my red flag now, in case I need it for another one.
Well, here we go. Resetting the scene for you. 11:48 to go. Dolphins leading by 14. Now they're facing a 3rd down and 9. Three receivers in the game for Miami. Jay Fiedler to go from the shotgun. Trying to keep the drive alive. Fiedler throws, got it complete to McMichael.
Wow.
Out inside the 45, inside the 40, and getting the first down. Randy McMichael with another big 3rd down play. Gain of 10, and they'll move the chains. Let's go down to the field right now. Our Ari Wolf standing by.
All right, here's an injury update, guys, on the Rams. Bryce Fisher was taken into the locker room for a chest x-ray. Dwight Anderson, who was hurt on that special teams play, has been taken in for a shoulder x-ray. And Grant Williams is out of the game right now with a burner in his neck. Back to you guys.
Randy McMichael came up big on the 3rd down at 28 to score a touchdown in the first half. He comes up big to move the chains right there as well.
Randy McMichael looked like he would have been a pretty good high hurdler.
1st down and 10. Fake to give to Morris. Instead, it's Chambers around the left side. Another 1st down. Inside the 25, out at the 23. So the Dolphins opening up the playbook, and Chris Chambers gains 15.
Well, the offensive game plan right now is to perfection. They're playing keep away from the Rams. They're playing good Balkan-style offense. They're getting the ball to Chambers today and to McMichael. I think it's a heck of a job coaching by Dave Wannstedt today. I mean, you know, the big play early from Marty Booker on a reverse pass, using his skills as a thrower to Chambers down the field, setting up that first touchdown.
Looking for more right here. Another 1st down, 1st and 10. Fiedler, here comes the pressure, and down goes Fiedler. Big play by Ryan Pickett, who brought it right up the middle, and that'll be another sack for this Rams defense. Loss of 7.
Now, the offensive line is 5 new starters up there. Fiedler's trying to make a play, holding that ball probably a little too long right here. They're still trying to get it right up front. You see right there between the right guard, Whitley, and McKinney, the center, that there was complete confusion. One went left, the other went right, and Pickett came right up the middle.
6 sacks for the Rams defense today. 46 yards total in losses for Jay Fiedler and the Dolphins. Ryan Gilmore checks in, but the give is to Sammy Morris. Morris goes down just across the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a gain of 2. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long. Adam Archuleta, Anthony Hargrove making the stop for St. Louis.
I think this Morris has given this Dolphin team a lift. I think he gave him a lift last week in a loss. It's one of those things that gets overlooked because it's a 6th straight loss and everybody just focuses on that. But this guy's a tough guy inside there today. You know, the average, you can't look at the average. The fact that he's carried it 22 times where you get to melt the clock a little bit, control the line of scrimmage. Well, Bulger trying to keep that right arm, that golden right arm, loosened up.
They need some work out of that right arm. Right now they need some work out of their defense. Morris on third down, inside the 30, taken down at the 26-yard line, gain of 3. And that'll bring on the field goal unit for Miami. Tino Isamoa making the stop for St. Louis. Now this is an interesting proposition because Matt Bryant is their kicker. 2 for 2 so far this year, but this is only his second game, and he is only in there because Olindo Mare is out with a calf injury.
That career long was last week up there in Buffalo.
Former Giant, former Colt. Played with the Colts this year, Giants in 02 and 03. Low snap, Turk gets it down, kick is on the way, it is up and it is good. So Matt Bryant does his job and the Dolphins extend their lead to 17 points. It is now 24-7 with it. Hang on, with 8:47 to go in the fourth quarter. Flag comes in. Randy McMichael's saying that they want to decline. Let's wait and see how Johnny Greer settles this one.
Wannstedt just said keep the points, make it a 3-score
we
game.
have 12 men defense. The field goal good. We'll penalize on the kickoff.
There you go. 24-7. That's our score. Rams trailing. 8:47 to go. We'll be right back. All right, today's game being seen around the world on Armed Forces Television. We want to send our very best wishes to the men and women of the 173rd Airborne Brigade, the Sky Soldiers in Vicenza, Italy. Guys, thank you. We appreciate your efforts. Stay safe. We hope you are enjoying the football game. Hope you get to enjoy the World Series as well.
I hope those Dolphin fans over there in Italy too. Dolphin fans over there get a chance to, for a little bit of excitement later today.
Bryant with the kickoff. Furry back deep for St. Louis, takes it at the 2. Furry coming up the field across the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now, if you have any doubt that this team can come back, we told you about it before, but Baldy, you were there to watch this.
Yeah, you know, it was fast and furious in Seattle 2 weeks ago. 24-7 in that game with a little over 6 minutes to go. And they scored 23 points in a hurry. And you can bet that everybody in St. Louis on that sideline is saying, we have done it before, we can do it again. And everybody on that Miami defense has said, we just watched this on tape. They're capable of doing it.
St. Louis with it now, first down and 10, trailing by 17. Bulger back and looking. Finally gets rid of it for Isaac Bruce, and he's got him across midfield down to the 43-yard line. How about that? Just like that, Bulger, cool and calm as can be, hits Isaac Bruce for 35.
Well, the first time they went play action here in the second half. I mean, watch what he does. Watch the ball fake here to Steve Jackson. And then watch him, he gets deep in the pocket, and he's looking for Isaac on a cross all the way. Perfect touch on the ball.
So 35 yards, Rams with another first down here. Incomplete, looking for Curtis, make that McDonald. That'll bring up second down. You know, it's amazing how quickly Bulger can reset in the pocket and then and that was not a short throw.
No.
And he put that spot on, dead on for Isaac Bruce.
You know, Wannstedt's looking over there. He needs a little Pepto-Bismol. His stomach is nervous. Watch this ball drop out of the sky. I mean, Sam Madison thinks this thing is perfectly covered, but there's a little opening. And the ball found that opening.
Sam Madison's a solid cornerback. Second down and 10 for Bulger and the Rams. Here comes the pressure, backside, and down he goes, Jason Taylor.
See what they've done. Grant Williams is hurt, so Scott Cicero right now, the left guard, is playing right tackle.
Bulger was slow to get up.
See, they put Chris Dishman at left guard, and Scott Cicero here is playing right tackle because of injuries. And he got beat right off the snap. That almost looked like it was offsides. Bulger is looking left, thinking his backside is protected all the way. It wasn't.
Well, we told you last week against Buffalo, Jason Taylor, no sacks, no pressures, no tackles today. He's come up with a much better performance. Little screen pass to Jackson with some blockers in front of him. Jackson looking for room, gets inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line. Not enough for a first down. Sammy Knight makes the tackle coming up from the safety position.
Well, it's fourth down territory.
Well, they have no choice here. They've got to go, trailing by 17. They are not in field goal range. They need 3 scores. They've got to go for it right here. So for an 0-6 football team in Miami, this becomes a very big play to get the football back. Fourth down and 7. 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go.
That's Jason Taylor up at the top going against the rookie, Tesoro.
And here he comes. Bulger steps up, avoids the pressures, got it complete. Flag comes in late. He got it to Sean McDonald, enough yardage for the first down. But a flag came in where you would normally expect holding, and that's exactly what we've got. That's coming back.
They've got to give the rookie right tackle, who hasn't played out there this season, help, because he cannot block Jason Taylor. And it's a tough assignment for anybody in this league.
Holding, 63, offense. Still fourth down.
Take another look at the holding penalty that's called there, and it's Jason Taylor who's causing all the disruption along the line.
Well, Scott Tesoro has got a broken left wrist, got a cast over there in the left wrist. He's got Jason Taylor coming low around the corner like a European sports car. I mean, he was getting ready to play in the middle. This is not a good feeling for a rookie guard out there on the edge on the road against maybe the best pass rusher in the AFC.
Taylor revving his engine again. Here he comes. Bulger steps up. Fourth down, 18. Got it out there. It's going to be complete to Sean McDonald. No, they're going to say he's out of bounds. Out of bounds, and that will be a turnover. The Dolphins will have it back, leading by 17. So the Rams walk off the field on downs. Another case where Bulger's just throw into a spot, but that time just a little
Whoa,
bit
that
too
foot's
wide.
down. No. I think that's a catch. I mean, that's worth taking a look at. It looked like he dotted the I on that. If I'm Mark Morris, I'd take a look. He's not going to. That replay there.
I think what you need is somebody to get in his headphones.
I need another look at that. No, let's take another look. I mean, that ball looks like it's a catch. Watch this. His hand's got 2 hands on it. Left foot,
left,
right foot.
That's real close.
What? That's worth taking a look.
There, he got it in. He got it in right there.
Yeah.
Mike Martz just threw it in. What he needed was somebody up in the booth to talk to him.
No, but here's the
say
thing.
They saw the same thing that you did.
No, let me tell you something right now. You have got to just take a chance on it. This is the ball game right now. You can't wait for the guys upstairs to take a look
St.
at
Louis
it. You
has
just got
challenged the ruling on the field that the pass was incomplete.
No, this is a unbelievable catch. Left foot, I think that's a catch. Unless
Certainly
the
looks
ball
like it from that
bounced
angle.
when he hits the ground. Here's the thing. If this ball bounces on the ground in that...
Watch McDonald go up.
Okay, he's got
There's
in
that
his
first
right
foot.
hand.
The 2 feet got down.
Yeah. See, now the ball kind of moves. There could be questions of possession at the end when he hits the ground, but the feet are in bounds.
Terrific effort out there by Sean McDonald.
Well,
regardless of what happens here, that was a great effort.
Well, McDonald's the guy that caught the pass in overtime 2 weeks ago.
To beat Seattle. Cap off that great comeback. Right here, he's just trying to keep a comeback alive because regardless of the outcome, the clock says 6:32 to go, and it's still Miami leading by 17.
You know, Martz has been a guy that will throw the red flag out there for instant replay on anything. I mean, to stop the clock, to talk to his quarterback, and I'm surprised that he even waited to challenge this play.
Take a look at Mike Martz's reaction when he saw the replay there. Saw the replay on the screen here.
Mike Martz sometimes cannot control his emotions. He talked about it last night to us, especially when it's the young guys. Sean McDonald or Kevin Curtis or Jackson, when those young guys, he sees them growing up and developing, he can't control his excitement.
Johnny Greer taking a look to see whether or not, in fact, that was a catch for Sean McDonald down on the sideline. We'll take one more look at it. You be the judge. A, it certainly appears he got both feet down. B, does the ball come loose when he hits the ground?
Well, he got that right foot down.
Here comes Johnny Greer. Give us the decision on this one.
Got his left foot down, right foot down and dragged it, and maintained control of the ball when he's out of bounds. We have a catch, 1st and 10 from the 26.5-yard line.
So the Rams,
St. Louis not charged with a timeout.
the Rams retain possession and keep the drive alive. Mike Martz rolls the dice with the replay. As you said, really no choice at this point, and it pays off.
Well, you know, the thing, I can't believe Sean McDonald didn't get up. You know, the receivers now, they know when they're in bounds. Remember, Torrey Holt told us last night that when he catches the ball on the sideline, he never looks down at the ground. It's just that they run these routes so many times with so much repetition, they catch the ball without ever looking at the ground. McDonald did a great job of keeping those feet in, though.
Marshall Faulk checks back in for the Rams. He's right next to Bulger, who will go out of the shotgun on 1st down. Bulger throws. It's incomplete. Out there looking for Kevin Curtis. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Now, if the Rams have any chance at a comeback, they have got to protect the right side. Scott Tessero over there at right tackle is outmanned by Jason Taylor. That time, Marshall Faulk did a great job of going over to help him out.
Saw a moment ago, Philadelphia's gone back up by 7 on Cleveland. Looking to keep that unbeaten start alive. Rams hoping to keep their hopes alive right here, trailing by 17 with the clock working against them in Miami. Dolphins just looking for their first victory of the year. They're not getting greedy. Bulger, little delay, gives it to Faulk. Faulk inside the 25, not much more than that. Goes down at the 21-yard line. Jeff Scanina coming up to make the tackle. Gain of 4. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
I can't believe the Rams are still huddling up. I mean, it's almost like there's an arrogance about how they expect to just, the clock isn't an enemy here.
Well, they need 3 scores. They're down 17.
Yeah.
Torrey Holt, they need 2 possessions after this.
Torrey Holt has been unbelievably quiet today. And here he is up at the top.
3rd down and 5 now for the Rams. Bulger throwing right side, incomplete. David Bowen's dropping back in coverage to break that one up, intended for Marshall Faulk. Normally you would consider that a mismatch, and I think that's what Bulger was looking at when he threw it out there. Faulk with Bowens on him.
Yeah, that's the defensive end that dropped off and covered Marshall Faulk out of the backfield. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's all about matchups to this Rams team, and you figure you get Faulk on a defensive end, you should win that, but shows some of the athletic ability and sets up another 4th down here.
4th down and 5 for the Rams. Kept the drive going a moment ago, and a great catch by Sean McDonald. They need to come up with something here. Manu Maliuna in motion. Pitch out, Marshall Faulk right side, they'll run for it. Faulk got the 1st down, so a gutsy call right there. Faulk runs out of bounds at the 15-yard line, and they'll move the chains again. On a down that everything said pass, they ran.
Remember, that's what Zach Thomas said. He said that you cannot figure this team out. You think pass, they run. Think run, you pass. They keep you off kilter, even at this point in the game, when you think all you can do is pass the ball to have a chance.
Clock moving, 5:17 to go in the game. Rams need to score 3 times. Got to get something here. 1st down, Steven Jackson and Marshall Faulk to the sideline. 4 receivers for the Rams as well. Empty backfield for Bulger. Here comes the rush, gets it away. He's got it complete in the middle of the field.
That's block.
McDonald got that block inside the 5. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Rams. 15 yards, and the Rams inch closer.
Dan, are they coming back? I mean, really, it's scary.
They've done it before. You've been here before.
They've been asleep.
Deja vu for you.
They've been asleep. Oh, deja vu all over again.
Deja vu
They've been
for
asleep
you.
all game. And here they are. They woke up now. They put the pressure on you. They keep the pressure on you. And everybody in the league knows that you never have a game wrapped up when this team is out there on the field.
Wilkins in to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. So that brings the Rams within 10. It is now 24-14. An interesting thing to keep an eye on here is this is where normally Miami would be able to go to Ricky Williams to kill the clock. They can't do that now. Here's the touchdown a moment ago.
Well, I tell you, Sean McDonald gets the ball in his hands. He's an electric player. Remember last Monday night, he ran back a punt for a touchdown. It got called back because of a bad call. Mark Bulger doesn't flinch.
Jason
He's
Taylor.
hurt. He's got a bad shoulder. Remember last week he threw a block on a reverse and he's got a bad shoulder. He said the adrenaline keeps him going. Here's Isaac Bruce back home in Fort Lauderdale, throws the key block there.
Well, you said McDonald needed a block, and there was Isaac Bruce. 11 years in the league. Never, ever one to shy away from making a block downfield and doing it right there.
You know, if you're this Ram team, you don't onside kick. They didn't against Seattle, shaking off that right shoulder right here. I think the Rams kicked this ball away. They put their defense out there and say, you know what, if we're going to have this comeback, it's got to be a complete team effort, and the defense has got to get the ball back for us.
Well, you gotta hope that they can send it down there and get a 3-and-out from Miami. Get that football back quickly. Not an onside kick formation. Jeff Wilkins set to kick it off. Wes Welker back deep. Dolphins certainly thinking onside kick. They've got their hands unit in there. Instead, Wilkins will kick it. Welker's going to take it at his 11-yard line. Back to the 20, runs out of bounds at the 26-yard line. We are just getting started on Fox today. Coming up later tonight, Game 2 of the World Series. Red Sox and Cardinals, and also coming up next, Game 2 of our doubleheader. How about Brett Favre? The Green Bay Packers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. We saw what Brett Favre did last week to the Detroit Lions. They were 1-4, but they went in there and looked like a 4-1 team. They looked terrific.
Well, that Green Bay team, they haven't won at Lambeau Field this year. They're 0-3 up there. They look like they came out of the grave last week against Detroit.
Cowboys and Packers coming up next, Game 2 of our doubleheader. Morris finds some room across the 25, out to the 30. It's going to be a gain of 4 on first down, 2nd down and 6. Rams will quickly call timeout and kill the clock with 4:40 to go.
I agree with this too, by the way. Stopping the clock, trying to keep as much time available for your comeback. You know, you put it in the offense's hands, you got to work the sidelines and the kill, and you work all those other things that you practice every day.
Well, let's go back to what we were talking about a moment ago, and that's the fact that this is where a Ricky Williams comes in handy, because you can kill the clock keeping the ball on the ground. This is where a guy like Sammy Morris can prove his worth to the Miami Dolphins.
No question about it. You know, he's getting a chance to be the bell cow here in Miami, and this is where you'd like to get a couple of first downs.
Jeff Smoker throwing on the sidelines. Jeff Smoker, rookie out of Michigan State. We saw just a moment ago Mark Bulger holding his shoulder. He's throwing with Bulger.
Now, he's just a receiver right now for Bulger. All the wide receivers are trying to catch a little bit of a breath before they go back out there. They know how fast and furious they're going to have to play. So, you know, you got Chandler catching the ball for Bulger. Bulger throwing the ball to Smoker. All quarterbacks are active right there.
2nd down now. Give again to Morris. Met in the backfield. Going to go down right there at the 29. So it's going to be 3rd down coming up once again. Rams are going to call timeout to kill the clock. Let's see what else is happening around the league. Back to L.A. and James Brown. JB.
Dan's a big-time sportscaster in Detroit. Take a look at the Lions. Probably the game-clinching touchdown here, Dan. Artos Penner, 8 yards. Pay dirt, 28-13. 1:31 left. Lions looking for their 3rd road win. This one will be over the Giants. Back to Dan Miller and Brian Baldy.
JB, thank you very much. The Tooth's getting loose in the Meadowlands. All right, what you got to explain this league.
Yeah,
to me,
no,
Brian.
no,
They get smoked by the 1-4 Green Bay Packers
at
last
home.
week. And then they go into New York, where the Giants have been terrific, and lose in New Jersey at the Meadowlands.
Yeah, they have a hard time after a bye, and that's Kurt Warner up there, you know, who's still hugely popular in St. Louis. I mean, the Giants are on in St. Louis. People are glued to really the ghost of Kurt Warner that still looms there.
3rd down and 7. Rams need a stop right here to get the football back. They need 2 more scores. Either tie this game or take the lead. Fiedler to throw. Got it complete. That's Chambers, and he is gone. Count it down, Miami. Here comes your first victory. 71 yards.
Dolphins have life. What a feeling that is. That ended that comeback.
They talked about getting Chambers loose for some big plays,
yeah,
and they just did.
You know what, though? Mike Martz said you cannot play or coach this game with fear, and Dave Wannstedt and these Dolphins have not played this game with fear today.
Bryant in to attempt the extra point after the 71-yard connection from Fiedler to Chambers. It's up and it is good, and the Dolphins extend their lead back to 17, 31-14. Keep this in mind. This Miami Dolphin team came into this game averaging 9 points a game. They got 7 big ones right there.
That was Travis Fisher, who made his first start here today. He's been out with a broken forearm, and he looked rusty on that because Chambers made him fall, twisted him around. And you've got to think on 3rd and 4 that you've got to at least get a hand on Chris Chambers there. But the big play was the difference here for the Dolphins today. Big plays to Chambers in the first quarter on a reverse pass. Big play to Randy McMichael on 3rd and 28 for a touchdown.
All Mike Martz could do is sit and watch that one go by. Normally for Mike Martz, those big plays are going the other way. Not today.
That's the look of a team right there that doesn't see a comeback coming.
How about that? First 6 games, 4 touchdowns. Today, 4 touchdowns. The Miami Dolphins told us during the week they weren't thinking about going 10-6. They just wanted to be 1-6.
Dave Wannstedt said the reason why Jay Fiedler is still in there is because the guys believe in him. They know he's a tough guy, and he deserves a chance. And they weren't ready to sell the season by going with the young guy, A.J. Fiedler.
Bryant with a kickoff. Mike Furry takes it at the 10-yard line. He'll go down at the 20. Brock Forsey making the stop on special teams for Miami. Mark Bulger in that Ram offense will come back out right where they started a moment ago, needing 3 scores. 4:19 to go in this game.
For the Ram fans, they got to be concerned. Mark Bulger's hurt. His shoulder is bothering him. It's been bothering him for a couple of weeks, and I think he was hurt on that last series. And they don't really have an answer if Mark Bulger gets injured.
Not surprisingly, 4 receivers in the game for the Rams. Marshall Faulk is the back. Bulger was up under center, throws, got it complete. Isaac Bruce out near the 30-yard line, gain of 9. That clock continues to move, and that is the biggest enemy for the Rams right now. 2nd down and 1. This time it's Bulger from the shotgun. Flags everywhere.
Orlando Pace jumping early. That was Jason Taylor out there. Nobody wants to see Jason Taylor in this situation in the league.
Prior to the snap, false start, 76, offense. Still 2nd down.
Even your franchise player in St. Louis doesn't want to see Jason Taylor when he knows all you can do is throw the football.
You called it before the game. He's been moving all over the place, and every time he pops up, whoever's in front of him seems to make a mistake.
Well, watch him. He's going to go over against the rookie Scott Tessero there over at right tackle. There's blood in the water, and Jason Taylor, who he said had a tackle last week but officially didn't get one, is bothered by that. Here he comes.
Bulger got hit right there as he let loose with the ball. Curtis makes the, check that, McDonald makes the catch. Flag down on the play at the far 40-yard line.
Right. That was Jason Taylor just beating a double team that time. Beat the tackle and Marshall Faulk.
Holding, 23, defense. It's declined. 1st down.
So the Rams will take the gain and the 1st down as well. Decline the penalty.
I think Jason Taylor is enjoying being tired right now, enjoying the exhaustion at the end of this game. Watch this double team he beats. The feet never stop.
1st down and 10 from Bulger and the Rams again. Throws, got it complete. Across midfield. Isaac Bruce inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Gain of 21. And another 1st down for St. Louis. 3:30 to play here in the ball game. Miami leading by 17. St. Louis trying to pull off the miracle comeback. Bulger will just kill the clock right there and bring up 2nd down.
The guy that this Miami defense has completely taken out of the picture today is Torrey Holt. You know, Torrey Holt came on Monday Night Football last week and said, Torrey, big play Holt, where there's been no big plays from him today. And that's a credit to Sam Madison and Patrick Surtain. And we talked about them, those guys at the open. They have not let anything get behind them today.
Isaac Bruce, 5 catches today for 98 yards. Marshall Faulk, 7 catches for 62 yards. But Torrey Holt Really has not been a factor. 2 catches this afternoon. 3:24 to go. And Bulger takes this snap. He's got it on 2nd down, throws it out there, incomplete. And that'll bring up 3rd down, going for McDonald. And if you're the Rams, we talked about it, it doesn't get any easier. Yes, you have a bye week coming up, but coming out of that bye week, you got Seattle, then you got New England. It's been a long time since the Miami Dolphins could enjoy a Sunday evening. But if they can close this out today and get to 1-6, this is going to feel great. Rams 3 out of 11 on 3rd down today. That's McDonald in motion. 3rd down and 10. Bulger back pressure, gets hit, gets rid of it. It's incomplete.
I really think they've got to think about the safety of their quarterback more than trying to win this football game right now. Because he's getting the daylights punched out of him here. And this is, if they're going to win the NFC West, it's going to be with Mark Bulger. And right here, he's taking shot after shot. We've seen the right shoulders bothering him.
David Owens just leveling him right there. 4th down and 10. Rams 3 out of 3 on 4th down so far today. Any chance they have riding right here. Bulger throws, got it out there, complete to Marshall Faulk. Faulk fighting for the 1st down. Looks like he's got it inside the 30-yard line, down to the 29. 3:06 to play in the game, but they still trail by 17.
Here's my problem with a team like the Rams is why do they wait till there's 6 minutes to go in a game, 8 minutes to go in a game to play in this fashion? Why do they go through series after series of just lackluster energy and get to the point where there is no tomorrow, where they have to throw the ball every play like this? Why do they wait so long to do it?
Never saw a lot of fire out of this offense today. There's no question about that. Exactly right. 1st down and 10. Give us to Steven Jackson. Flags fly. Might be a free play for the Rams. Jackson inside the 25, down to the 22-yard line. Looks like it's going to be offsides against Jason Taylor.
Well, it's a moot point, but, you know, that penalty stops the clock. You know, and if you're the Dolphins, you've seen, it's been bizarro world this year.
Defense, it's declined. 2nd down.
So the Dolphins will take, the Rams will take the yardage. They picked up 8 right there. Check that 7, and we'll bring up 2nd down at 3. Miami's got to get this ball to check that. St. Louis has got to get this ball to the end zone. 2:58 to play. Bulger throws incomplete. As McDonald went down. That's going to bring up 3rd down now. 3rd down 3 with 2:54 to go. Mark Bulger on the afternoon. 23 out of 38 for 295 yards. 1 touchdown and 1 interception.
Dolphins haven't let up a 300-yard passer more games than any other team in this league in the last 2 years.
Bulger back and looking again, going for McDonald. Again, it's incomplete. Mike Martz told us in this offense they throw to a spot. Bulger threw to a spot. McDonald wasn't there.
The Dolphins have made them work for everything that they've been able to get. We said at the very beginning, emotional wins, short week, on the road. That's why he gave them 2 days off this week. They did not practice Tuesday or Wednesday. They were late getting to Miami last night.
All that in 100+ degrees on that field down there. Can't help. 4 out of 4 on 4th down. They need 3 yards to extend right here. Bulger throws. Check that dead play. Flags everywhere. And that may in fact
Prior
go
to
against
the snap,
the Rams.
False start. 63. Offense. Still 4th down.
It's going to go against Scott Tercero. You saw Jason Taylor laying on the ground just a moment ago. Make no mistake. I think the Rams are a tired football team. These Dolphins are a tired football team, not just from the effort they've expended today, but this has been an emotional season.
Yeah. Jason Taylor is near exhaustion right now, but this is a chance to get some sacks, to finish this game. You go in that locker room with a smile on your face. You come to work on Monday with a smile and a good feeling.
4th down and 8 now for Bulger and the Rams. Blitz comes, and there he goes. That should do it right there. Sacked by Zach Thomas, and isn't that fitting that he can finish this off?
I don't think this felt like a job to Zach Thomas today. I think this is the same fun-loving player that was drafted out of Texas Tech 9 years ago. This was a fun day for him.
Take another look at it. Zach Thomas coming right up the middle on Mark Bulger.
Well, he beat an offensive lineman to do it. Beat Chris Dishman there one-on-one. Just basically jumped right around him. And he looks fresh. He doesn't look like he's tired at all.
Dave Wannstedt says, finally. Give is to Morris on 1st down. He's across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Anthony Hargrove making the stop for St. Louis. 7 yards for the Dolphins on 1st down. That should be the final play before the 2-minute warning.
I think one of the questions that all Dolphin players were getting tired of answering is, when are you going to win a game? Well, when is this going to happen? What team can you beat? Well, you can beat any team in this league when you play like this. Error-free football. We'll play with this kind of emotion here today and play in a well-coached game. You can beat anybody in this league.
Well, this is proof of that. On paper, this looked like a mismatch, but the Miami Dolphins didn't play this one on paper. They played it on the field, and they're going to walk away with their first victory. Stay with us. We'll be right back. When you come into a game 0-6, you're looking for something good to happen, and the Dolphins got off to a good start for the first time today. Pass from Booker to Chambers. That set up this touchdown run by Sammy Morris. That's their first rushing touchdown of the year. It was their first points in the first quarter this year, and they had a halftime lead for the first time this year. Now they're just killing the clock, counting it down to their first victory of the year. That's going to be a loss of 2, but at this point, that's not particularly important. St. Louis Rams have just run out of time and chances in this game. As you look at our game summary, Miami looking for their first win, they'll get it. Miami, no turnovers, that have been a huge problem this year. Miami, 4 touchdowns, equaling their output of the entire season to this point. St. Louis, Marshall Faulk, 136 total yards, but we won't look back on that as a positive thing, not today.
You know, we mentioned Ricky Williams today, and we mentioned the fact there's 5 new offensive linemen and all that kind of stuff. You know, in this league, things happen, things change. Guys get hurt, guys quit, guys retire. You can't focus and concentrate on that stuff. Even the timing of the whole Ricky Williams thing. Today, they got productivity from the running backs, Travis Minor and Morris. They were good here today. They got great special teams play, knockout punch by Tony Bull on a return. And they got good quarterback play from Jay Friedman.
They just got a first down, and that's going to do it. Miami will be able to kill the clock from here. Big run out there by Sammy Morris, and I think he's really made a statement for himself that he can be the running back to help this team the rest of the season. 91 yards last week for Sammy Morris. Today, 28 carries, 82 yards. And helping them to kill the clock right here. And they've been through some backs so far this year. They thought it would be Ricky Williams in there. It wasn't. They've been through Travis Minor, who's back today, Lamar Gordon, Leonard Henry. Now, for the first time this year, the Dolphins will be able to take a knee and close out a victory. Less than a minute to go.
There is so little that separates winning teams from losing teams in this league. The biggest stat out there is turnovers. You know, the Rams over the last 5 years are 30-0. 30-0 when they win the turnover battle. Today, they lost it drastically, 4-0.
Which puts them to 16-25 in games in which they don't win the turnover battle. So, once again, coaches around the league will tell you there is no bigger statistic to dictate winning and losing than that turnover ratio.
That kid defined this effort today, that Tony Bull. That hit on special teams, that play by Zach Thomas. There's an awful lot of pride in that locker room. I mean, none of these guys have been through losing teams here. They've been winning 10, 11, 12 games down here in Miami a year.
He hits people so hard they put him in a cage. There he is.
They caged him, huh?
So the Rams lose it. They will fall to 4-3 on the season. The Dolphins win it. They improve to 1-6. For Brian Baldinger, I'm Dan Miller. Dolphins win it. Game 2 of our doubleheader coming up next. That's it for Miami. So long.